The games we play are the stories we create.
The fortress doors swing open,
Every story is unique.
and the sound of war drums rises.
Sometimes our stories come to us when we least expect them.
Parent just starts fighting her again, so she gets up again, and I'm like, yep.
We need to be ready no matter where inspiration strikes. And sometimes our stories are told over great distances. No matter where your journey leads you or how your story is told. Distances. No matter where your journey leads you or how your story is told. Distances. No matter where your journey leads you or how your story is told. Distances.
Write as though nobody's watching, because nobody's watching. Suspense is all.
Yo, what's going on, you pregnant people? That's right, there's babies growing inside all of you. I didn't know how to tell you, but now you officially know the truth. The dark secret, you are pregnant. Oh my gosh. It's your boy Scrub here. Hope you guys are all having an absolutely incredible day. I know I am. I'm just sitting here watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and decided to tell a little story, a little didgeridoo, if you will, because I don't know. That's what I do on this channel. I tell stories. I don't know why I feel the need to explain why I tell stories every day, because you guys know it's just the most repetitive thing I've ever said in my entire life. But hey, I guess you guys now know that I tell stories. Today's story is going to be a little sad, but also a little detective work. You know, I put on that magnifying glass and decided to solve a crime like Scooby-Doo. And if you press the like button, you will get a talking dog and a mystery machine. No joke. I don't know how I keep promising these sweepstakes. I don't really know where to get a mystery machine, but I swear you'll get one if you press the like button, so YOLO it away. As you guys can tell from the title, today we're going to be talking about the time someone caught their dad cheating. This is not my story. It's a really, really good friend of mine, but I remember it happening. And it was a pretty interesting situation. Me and him and a couple of our other friends actually caught evidence of the dad cheating red-handed, and I was overall involved in basically catching this grown man cheating on his wife and walking out on his son and the rest of his family. And it's a pretty sad story, but it's also pretty interesting, so I figured you guys would like it. So without further ado, let's get into it. Buckle your seatbelts, tie your shoes, and get ready to plug your nose, because it's gonna be stinky. So I had a pretty close squad towards the end of high school, about 5 guys. We basically did everything together. We were super close. This is the same people that I actually broke a window with an orange as. If you guys have seen that story over on the main channel that I did like a year ago now. I actually might retell it on here just so you guys can get a grasp of it, because it's a pretty funny story. But anyways, we had this really, really close-knit group of friends that we did everything together with, and we were all super close, so close that our families had gone on vacations together, and overall just had, you know, a really good relationship with everybody else. Like, we all knew each other's parents, our parents knew us, we got along really well, we were always together, we were basically inseparable. And along with this comes some pretty stupid scenarios, because when you get along so well, you can do more stupid things, so you're together more, and you're more comfortable with each other, more bad ideas come up. And anyways, one of our friends actually got in trouble off a stupid idea we had. We decided that we were going to glue a kid's hands to his desk, and it didn't work out that well. It was one of the people in the group. It wasn't just some random kid, but he actually ended up having to get scissors and cut his hand off the glue. Like, not the actual hand. He did not cut off his hand, but you guys get what I'm saying. He had to cut the glue off from his hand, and we got in some pretty big trouble. And one of the consequences of this was one of the other people in our 5 got.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
With over 10 years of experience, an elite support staff, deep partnerships with software providers, and savings of up to 40% off the MSRP, Trusted Tech Team has helped more than 7,000 IT pros take their software licensing from IT nightmare to dream come true. Whatever the size of your business, rest easy. Trusted Tech Team is here to help.
Got his phone taken away. His parents were like, hey, you're not going to have your phone because you guys are stupid and got in trouble at school, which is whatever. You know, actions have consequences. We shouldn't have that my friend didn't get to keep his phone forever. That's whatever. I guess this is what happens when you glue people's hands to tables. There's consequences. And a portion of this had to do with the fact that he had to bring his dad's phone to school, which doesn't really make much sense, like, especially when you guys get into the story a little bit more. I don't understand why they just took his phone and then gave him another phone. Like, that's like being like, ah, man, all right, that's it. You can't drive your car. You just have to drive mine instead. What type of dumb rule is that? But whatever. I guess parents can be stupid sometimes and make terrible decisions, especially considering his dad was, you know, having an affair with somebody else and not his mother. And obviously, if you guys are smart enough to understand where this is going, basically the 411 of the situation is homeboy did not think this through, and his side chick ended up sending a text to the phone while the son had it that said something along the lines of, I had a great time last night. And of course, all of us are kind of sitting here like, interesting. Isn't that weird how that works? But we'll get into that. All right. So let me go back a little bit. Basically what happens is my friend has his dad's phone at school, and he gets a text from a number he doesn't recognize that says, I had a great time last night. And he comes to lunch and he looks really upset, like he just saw a ghost or something. Definitely is not looking too pleased. And we're like, yo, dude, what happened? What's wrong? And he goes, I think my dad is cheating on my mom. And we're all like, what do you mean? Because keep in mind, like I said, we were all really close. All of our families knew each other. We knew parents. So I know his dad on a first name basis. I know his mom on a first name basis. So we're all kind of shocked that this is going on. We're all shocked. And I mean, imagine finding out that your parents are, or your dad, I guess, is cheating on your mom through a text message that you get while you're at school. So whatever, I'm trying to be the logical one. And I'm like, hey, we don't know if your dad's actually cheating on your mom. We really don't have any proof that he's cheating on your mom. It could have just been a wrong number. It could have been a bad text. It could have been that. That's fine. And he's like, yeah, I guess. And one of the caveats of him taking his dad's phone to school is he couldn't like text and do whatever he wanted on it. Basically, the phone was locked and his parents had to call him if they wanted to talk to him. Or I guess his mom would. His dad didn't have a phone. It was a really weird situation, all right? I'm not saying the punishment made any sense, but that's what they... We don't really have a way of getting into the phone to read the text message, and the number's not saved. So I'm like, hey, maybe it's a wrong number. We can't really see if there's more text messages between them, and that's about all we got, right? Like, he's like, fine, okay, you're right. It's probably a wrong number. I'm freaking out. There's no reason I should be freaking out. My dad would never cheat on my mom. Let's be realistic here. That just wouldn't happen. And we're like, yeah, exactly. Everything's good. Everything's good. I'm going to call the dad Jeremy. Jeremy would never cheat on your mom. We know that. Like, come on. Jeremy's a nice guy. Jeremy's always been cool to us. Jeremy's always let us hang out at his house. There's no way that Jeremy's a bad person who would cheat on his wife. I just refuse to believe it. There's no way. So my friend goes home and he goes up to his dad and he says, hey, you got a text from a wrong number talking about how you had a great time last night. And from what he told us, his dad immediately turns pale, like a ghost. Like he actually just heard the worst news he's ever heard in his entire life. He just heard that Dunkin' Donuts is no longer going to be serving coffee or donuts, guys. That's right, a tragedy of that proportions. Dunkin' Donuts no longer serving donuts is the level of DEFCON 1 alertness, absolute tragedy that his dad has just heard. So that's a little bit bizarre, right? Because, I mean, if your son's like, hey, you got a wrong text about having a great time last night, isn't that funny? And you haven't done anything, you'll laugh and be like, oh, that's weird. But when you turn white as a ghost and go, that's so weird, ha ha ha, you definitely look sus. You're not looking innocent at all. That's like the police being like, oh, you didn't murder this guy, right? And you're like, no, why? Did you find his body in the dumpster? And they're like, we never said where the body was found. Oh my gosh, he did do it. Dun dun dun. Like I said, Scooby-Doo, I'm a detective now. So my friend's weirded out and he goes, I think my dad's cheating on my mom. And the dad and the son weren't like super close. He was way closer with the mom, and he wanted to like protect his dad, obviously, or protect his mom, the other way around. He didn't want his dad to be going around two-timing his mom because him and his mom were super duper duper close. I'm not going to get into it. Basically, his dad was not around always. It wouldn't have been the first time that him and his mom and his dad were not together. So he's way closer with his mom than his dad. But overall, you know, you don't want either situation to happen. He's hoping that he's wrong, but he comes to us. He says, look, my dad acted weird when I told him about the text, told him about the wrong number. Something's up, and I want to figure out why. So me and all my friends, you know, the 5 amigos, we're like, look, we got your back no matter what. That's just how it operates. You don't bail on the homies. If they need your help to figure out if their dad is cheating on their mom, you help them figure out if their dad is cheating on the mom. It's not negotiable. It's not an argument. You have to do what you have to do because that's what friends are for. You always have your friends back to the very end. And if you guys disagree with that, you're probably a bad friend. But anyways, I have my friends back to the very end. So I'm like, yeah, anything you need to figure this out, anything your mom needs, anything you guys need, 100% I'm down for, all right? Like, your dad's a cool dude. I've met him. We've gotten along. But you know I've got your back above everything else. So if you need me to do anything, I got you. And the rest of my friends are like, yeah, same here. So we decide that we got to figure out this once and for all. And the only way we're going to figure out what's going on is if we read the dad's text messages. There's really no other way around it because without that, we don't have proof. Like, we can't, follow him around all day because we have school, and we can't exactly just go to his mom with this wrong number theory because the mom will just be like, oh, it's a wrong number. Like, let's be realistic here. 5 teenage boys are like, we think your dad's cheating on you, and here's proof. We saw a text. Maybe. We heard that he saw a text from a number that could have been a wrong number. Like, obviously, it sounds stupid. So we decide that we need to get some proof, and if we find out he's not cheating, then great. No one gets hurt. No one's feelings are hurt, but we have to know for sure what's going on. So we decide the best way to do this is to get into the dad's iCloud account, his Apple ID, because we know we're not going to get into his phone because he's not stupid and he's not going to give us his phone password, and we don't have his phone anymore. So instead of, him like weaseling around his dad while he's sleeping and getting his thumbprint for the Touch ID, we decide the best way to do this is just going to be to sign into his Apple ID and read the messages, because Apple ID, syncs messages for those of you guys who don't know. And if you don't know that and your parents have your Apple ID, well, they're reading every text message you have, so you might want to delete the incriminating evidence, all right, guys? However, they all had different Apple IDs, so we convince him to ask his dad if he can have the Apple ID password because he needs to link it for a school project or some BS excuse, and the dad gives us the Apple ID password. And, parents are kind of tech stupid. Like, I don't know what it is about parents. They buy all this technology, but they don't really know how to use it. Like, the dad definitely did not know that we could spy on his text messages if he gives us the password to his Apple ID account. But regardless, he gives us the password to this Apple ID account, and we sync it up to an iPad, and we start getting these text messages, and the number starts popping up more and more frequently with really shady messages, and we can see what they're sending back and forth. And he's planning on meeting this number that we don't know for dinner on Friday night. Like, that's their plan. And the way they're texting, it's definitely not random people for a business meeting. It's not the type of people where you're just like meeting up for the first time. They definitely know each other, but they're not being overt. Like, they're not being like, last night when we cheated on your wife, it was like, hey, I had a great time last night. Oh, remember that one time? Like, it definitely could be friends. It's a weird way to text your friends. I would never text my friend, hey man, had a good time last night, winky face heart emoji. But hey, maybe he's weird with his friends. I don't really know how this operates. But regardless, we're like, all right, well, Friday night, we know where they're eating dinner. We can just go see what's up. And he's like, yeah, I like that idea. Well, where they're eating dinner is a very, very fancy place. Definitely not a normal place to hang out with your friends, but his dad does own a business, so maybe he's trying to make a business deal. We're not really sure. So we decided the best way to go is undercover. And when I mean fancy, it's definitely like you gotta wear a tie. It is a tie type of place. You're not just rolling in with a t-shirt and jeans on. So me and my boys, we get our nice clothes on, and we decide to go undercover at this restaurant. I felt like a super spy, all right? You ever been like, we gotta figure out the truth while wearing a suit? That is a next level badassery. You feel like the coolest guy in the universe. I felt like James Bond, but discount edition. Like, Goodwill James Bond. Really just out here trying to figure out the truth and figure out if my friend's dad really was a douche canoe after all. So whatever, we go to this restaurant and we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting, and of course in comes his dad with a girl that is not his mom. And when I know they were together and not just hanging out because of the way his hands were around her, it was definitely a little more than a business meeting, if you know what I mean. You know, he was a great He was grabbing the cake, you know, and this place did not serve cake, if you get what I mean. So obviously my friend and I are, like, all of us are just kind of shocked because we really didn't want it to be true. We were obviously investigating because we needed to figure it out, but you don't hope it's true. You don't hope your friend's, you know, parents' marriage is about to fall apart. But he has more loyalty to his mom, so we decide, instead of confronting his dad in the middle of this restaurant, that we're just gonna take a picture and go tell his mom, or he's gonna go tell his mom. We were not there when he told his mom. None of us wanted to be there when he told his mom because you know, that's just not a situation that I really need to see. Hey mom, dad's cheating on you, lol, here are my friends. Like, yeah, that's not how it's gonna work. So we get a picture of them eating dinner, his hands all over her, definitely proof that it's more than just friendly. And we drop him off at home and we're like, hey, keep us updated with what's going on. Like, obviously we're here for you. If you need to spend the night at one of our houses tonight, like, let us know. We obviously don't want him to be alone, but at the same time, you know, this is something he's got to handle for himself. There's really not much we can do outside of this point. We've helped him get proof that his dad is not the nicest guy in the universe. We've definitely tried our best to avoid this situation. At this point, like, he's got to handle it for himself. We can't do it all. So whatever he says, yeah, that's fine. And about 2 hours later, we get a call. He's like, hey, can I spend the night at somebody's house? And he doesn't spend the night at my house. He spends the night at another friend's house. But we all headed over there and just kind of talked to him and let him get it off his chest. Dad came home. His mom called him out. His dad denied it, said his son was lying, said that we were all lying. Got shown the photographic evidence, immediately shut down and said, I need you guys to get out of the house. I just need some time to think. And at that point, his mom kind of knew, obviously, that her husband was cheating on her, because you don't kick people out of the house when you're not guilty of cheating on them when you get shown evidence. And as much as I would like to say it has a happy ending, it was actually a very long, drawn-out divorce process, which did not make anybody happy. Him and his mom obviously got a lot closer because that's something you go through together that definitely strengthens your bond with somebody. And the ending was not too great. Like, it definitely was not a happy situation, but it was a pretty crazy situation. Like, the entire process took about a week and a half, but finding out your dad's cheating on your mom, getting evidence, and then telling her about it, and then having to go through all that is super hard. I still talk to him to this day. He does not watch my videos. He does not like YouTube. But he is a good guy, and I know it was really hard for him to go through. And before anybody freaks out and says, like, I'm spilling too much information, I asked him if it was okay if I talked about it, and he said yes. I just know he won't watch the video. So, yeah, on that note, guys, that's going to do it for the story. Hopefully you enjoyed in a weird way. You know, I feel weird saying that. But if you did, I would appreciate you liking and commenting. And, yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. Don't get anyone pregnant, and if you do, make sure they're hot. I'm out. Deuces. What's going on, guys? Uncle Jesse from Full House here, back with another video. I hope everybody's having an absolutely amazing day, because I know I am. If you are also Uncle Jesse from Full House, like you're literally the same person as me, I want you to press the like button. Every like is one Uncle Jesse, guys. No joke. Let's make the strongest army in the universe. So if you don't press the like button, you want to be there, guys. It's going to be crazy. The twins are coming and they're gonna have like a midget popping out of a cake. It's gonna be lit. I don't know if that word's offensive or not, if I was supposed to say little people that I'm saying that, but yeah, either way, press the like button, otherwise there's gonna be consequences. Then I'm gonna be telling you guys the story of a time my friend caught his girlfriend cheating on him. Alright, this is not my story, this is not my situation. However, I was involved because I can't seem to stay out of drama for the life of me. You might think that's a little awkward, but let's keep in mind that it keeps my channel running 24/7. So anytime there's a little bit of an issue, I've gotta hop in the drama. I gotta get going. I've gotta take some punches. I just do what I gotta do. The story takes place during my 1 year of college, where I was hanging out, you know, doing fist bumps with the boys, doing keg stands without the alcohol. There's some pretty good fruit juice that we had in there. It was pretty gnarly. And one of our friends had a girlfriend, and they had been dating since they were freshmen in high school. So it was a pretty long relationship. Definitely not something you'd want to, you know, throw away and just mess around with. And this guy was super into his girlfriend, all right? And when I mean super into his girlfriend, like sometimes he would ditch the boys to go hang out with her. He really, really loved this girl. And none of us really liked her because she was just mean to him. Like, I remember one time specifically, he was talking about how he was super stressed out with classes and how, you know, life was really getting to to him and he was depressed, and his girlfriend said, and I quote in response, "Go to sleep," which is just not what you do. Like, what a supportive girlfriend. Hey man, I'm depressed. I'm about to blow my brains out with a Bob the Builder toy hammer. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to bed. Good night, Derek. I don't really care what you do. And beyond that, she was just kind of mean to us. Like, we couldn't make jokes when she was around because she was offended by everything. And when I say offended by everything, I mean literally everything. I made a joke about how short people can't reach tall objects, and she literally got on my case for a solid half hour. Thank you, garbage truck, for being loud as hell outside. About how it's so rude that I would make fun of short people because they can't pick their vertical challenges. Vertical challenges? What, is this the NBA draft combine? What are you talking about, woman? There's no such thing as a vertical challenge. You either grow or you don't. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just a fact that short people can't reach the top shelf. But regardless, this girl was just not the type of person we like to be around, but he was in love with her, so we stuck by it. We supported him because when your friend's in love, you gotta do what you gotta do. So one day we're hanging out and, you know, his girlfriend can't come, and we were all so disappointed, you know, because we just loved being around her. And he comes in and he looks very upset and kind of sad, and we're like, hey, what's going on? And I guess he had gone back to their apartment because they lived together or whatever, and was going to tell her goodnight because it was pretty late at night because, you know, we're just some straight gamers. We were going to do some gaming in the library, and she had fallen asleep. But when he walked in to say goodnight to her, like kiss her on the head and say he was going out to hang out with us, he noticed that her phone was still on and like propped up on the pillow so you could see her sleeping. And she was FaceTiming a dude, and the dude was like sitting there playing PlayStation, and he said, "Who are you?" And the guy just said, and hung up really quick. And so obviously he's like, I mean, I don't know if anything's going on, but if I ever walked in on my girlfriend asleep on FaceTime with a dude who didn't say like, yo, I'm her cousin, and went, and hung up really quick, I'd be suspicious too. So he basically says, no, I don't think anything happened. And we're like, listen, dude, that's pretty fishy. Like, you need to ask her about it because that's not normal. Normal people don't fall asleep on FaceTime with somebody that, you know, they don't know like that unless there's something going on. And before the comments of, oh, maybe they were just friends. Listen, if you have a boyfriend, you don't fall asleep on FaceTime with another dude, especially if you live with a dude. You just don't do that. And if you do that, then you're just a bad girlfriend. That's like not cool. But whatever, she loves him. She would never do any of that to him. And we're like, all right, man, well, we're going to support you, but that's sketchy. You know, you already know that we're not the biggest fans of her, and this is just not good. Like, it does not look good that she was asleep with another dude on FaceTime. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. So whatever. I don't see him for a couple days. Like, he kind of goes off and does his own thing. But the next time we see him, the next time we're all hanging out, he goes, guys, I've got more bad news and I don't know what to think and I need your guys' advice. And we're like, all right, sure. So what's gone on? And he's like, well, I guess the guy lives in Kansas, which is basically across the country from where we are, right? And they're just friends. She says that they're just friends. They've just known each other forever. And like, there's nothing going on at all. Everything's cool. But she's going to go to Kansas and visit him for a week just to clear her head. And we're like, yeah, bro. Yeah, she's going to clear her head by putting hers where, you know, you guys get what I'm trying to say. No girl's just going on a vacation to visit a random dude for a week without her boyfriend to clear their head, all right? And no dude's ever gonna do that either. If you have a boyfriend or girlfriend that's like, I'm gonna go visit someone from my past for a week and you can't visit and they're paying for everything. Oh, I forgot to add that. The guy was gonna pay for everything. It's definitely not just a friendly get-together trip. I can promise you guys that. So of course at this point we're like, dude, this is sketchy. This is definitely shady. And he's like, no, come on. And whatever. I guess the trip isn't that sketchy until you put into context that she fell asleep on the phone with FaceTime. So we asked him what else he did when he found out that she was going on a trip. And he said, well, that night I checked her phone and she had FaceTimed him 37 times in the last 3 days. Once again, I don't know. And he said, and the timings of the calls were only when I was gone. And then he would come home when they'd still be on FaceTime and she wouldn't have headphones in. And then she'd go put headphones in so he couldn't hear what the guy was saying. So all of these things together just looks insanely sketchy, right? Like 100% the sketchiest situation in the world. This girl is definitely going around being a shady little hoe behind his back. But it gets sketchier. He's like, I feel so bad for going through her phone. I definitely, you know, I'm at fault. And I'm like, listen. If you were just going through her phone randomly, yeah, that's weird. Don't invade people's privacy. If you're suspicious and she's going to visit him for a week and she's asleep on FaceTime and you live with her, you gotta do what you gotta do. And when he checked her phone, they had a best friends on Snapchat, but deleted the text messages. There were no text messages, which is just shady. Like, you don't do that unless you're trying to hide something. You only text over Snapchat, you delete every text message, you're FaceTiming 37 times in a day. All this stuff is making the situation look not very good for my friend, right? But he maintains, no, I don't think anything happened. And we're all like, dude, there's definitely something going on. And he says, fine, I'm gonna confront her about it. We're just gonna see what her reaction is. is, whatever, like, we'll just see, you know? So he goes to her and he says, hey, you know, this is the evidence, this is what I found, I don't think there's anything going on, but like, do you have any proof that you haven't done anything? Because all this evidence looks like you're being sketchy. And instead of being like, oh, here, let me call him on FaceTime so he can tell you that nothing's going on, or like, here, let me show you what we're talking about, here, let me explain everything, she goes, oh, so you think I'm some cheating whore? Starts crying, punches a hole in their bathroom wall. Meanwhile, they're not arguing, like, he just literally was like, hey, I don't think anything's going on, but you know, this is what it looks like to me. And instead of being an adult and explaining it or providing any evidence at all that nothing's going on, she freaks out, punches a wall, and then basically says that he's calling her a whore, which he has never done, by the way. And you know, listen, I can understand being upset if somebody accuses you of something you haven't done. I totally get that. But even in the like days after they've broken up or a couple hours later, right after you get over that, you know, super upset feeling, that's when you're like, here's proof that I haven't done anything. Here, we'll FaceTime the guy. He'll tell you nothing's going on. No, none of that happens. She just maintains that she's innocent without doing anything to, like, prove that she's innocent, you know? So her explanation for, like, the 37 FaceTime calls is like, oh, the call kept failing. And he's like, all right, well, then why were you FaceTiming this dude I don't know for 9 hours a day whenever I was in class or not there? Like, that's just weird. And she's like, oh, but the calls were failing. That's why I did it. Just sketchy things, not really an explanation for why she did anything, but just, like, dumb excuses that don't actually make any sense, just trying to get out of trouble. Because obviously, to anyone with a brain, there's definitely something going on, right? Like, 100%, if you don't think there's anything going on, you're dumb. But of course, she's innocent. She never did anything wrong. All of it's a lie. He's making up lies about her, blah, 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 blah. And something you gotta learn about breakups, I kind of talked about this in my breakup video, is after you break up with people, if the breakup's bad, they're gonna make up lies about you. They're gonna exaggerate things that have gone wrong. Yeah, I'm sure my friend made mistakes in their relationship. I'm sure she did too. But you can tell a lot about a breakup by how they talk about the ex afterwards. And the person that's going around claiming that the other person's insane, that the other person's crazy, that the other person's a manipulator, that the other person's like all these terrible things, really terrible things without any proof, just trying to be like, oh yeah, this person punches kittens in the face. 9 times out of 10 was the bad one in the relationship. If you ask someone about their ex and like, you know, they're a great person, it just didn't work out, I wish them the best. That's a mature breakup. The second anybody goes around bad-mouthing their ex, I think differently of them because it's just a sketchy thing to do. You're not with someone for years at a time and then have the ability to just mad talk shit on them constantly and exaggerate things and make up stories if you did nothing wrong. So, at the end of the day, we never really got any, like, proof, no smoking gun. However, 99% confident something's gone on. The way she reacted to everything, the way she acted after, all of it's super sketchy. And my friend was pretty messed up, dude. It's not fun to realize that the person that you were living with and loved was going behind your back. Obviously, that's a pretty terrible thing to experience. You know, life gets better, you learn lessons from it. That's all you can really ask for at the end of the day, is that any relationship you're in, that you become a better person because of it, and that you learn things to apply later in life. But you know, these things happen, you gotta learn from it and move on. And yeah, moral of the story too is never get back with somebody that does this to you, because if you do, man, you're just gonna let them walk all over you. You gotta have a backbone, you gotta have a spine. Tell that hoe that she ain't worth it no mo. Or the guy hoe, whichever way. If it's a guy hoe, if it's a girl hoe, whatever. Just don't let hoes walk all over you, because they, you know, their high heels will stab into your back and they'll paralyze you, and you'll have to walk around like, well, not walk around, roll around like Stephen Hawking, and you don't want that to happen. But on that note, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, please press the like button. We're growing like crazy. Like, seriously, the last 4 days we've gotten 40,000 subs, so that's nuts. I do really appreciate all the support. You guys are incredible. Thank you for everything you guys do. Obviously, I love my job more than anything in the world, and you guys are the reason that I get to do it. But yeah, I would really appreciate you pressing the like button. If you have any stories of your friends that have gone through anything similar or anything like this, I would love to hear it. I really like reading comments of other people's stories, because I tell them a lot. I don't get to read them a lot. And I'm thinking about doing a weekly series where I'll tell one of your guys' stories. So if you're interested in that, let me know. But my name is Scrubby. Hope you all have an absolutely incredible day. I know I will. Don't let your girlfriend fall asleep on the phone with other people on FaceTime. And don't get anyone pregnant. And if you do, make sure they're hot and not a cheater. I'll talk to you guys next time. I'm out. Peace. What's going on? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having an absolutely fantastic day. I know I am. If you are, be the like button. Otherwise, no. No scam at all. You won't be rich. I actually talked to the United States Federal Reserve and they said if you press the like button, you will get $1 billion. And, you know, that's a lot of money. Don't take the risk. Press the like button, guys. Come on. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a tale as old as time. A tale so ancient that it was buried in ancient Mongolia and resurfaced in the year 2015. Basically, today, I'm going to be telling you guys about a very awkward relationship story in which one twin brother stole a the really sweet life of Zach and Cody this hoe, except no one's life was sweet after you realize that stealing your twin brother's girlfriend makes Thanksgiving dinner very awkward. Like, how do you even get over that? Hey, can you pass the yams? Oh, yeah, wait, do you need something to cut it with? Can you get the knife out of my back, Billy? All right, you stole my girlfriend, you pig. She's sitting right here. You brought my ex to Thanksgiving? You know, just a super awkward situation. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into this story. 3, 2, 1, boom. Now, I don't know how rare twins are for you guys, but I actually had 2 good sets of twins that I was friends with growing up. One of them I'm still pretty close with to this day. They're really dope dudes hanging out in Arizona. If you guys are watching this video, which I highly doubt you are, hope you guys are having a good day. You know who I'm talking about. And there was another set of twins that I was friends with, and they were basically inseparable, all right? They were the type of twins that was kind of weird because they would, like, wear the same clothes sometimes, and they would finish each other's sentences. The type of twins that you would expect to see in a horror movie, all right? Like, if you were walking down a dark hotel hallway and these twins walked around the corner, you'd be about 99% sure you were about to meet your demise. Satan himself was about to open up the floor and suck you in. They were kind of creepy twins, but they were relatively cool dudes, you know? And outside of just being a little awkward together sometimes, when they were apart, then they were really, really fun to hang out with and just really knew how to have a good time. So, I've known them for a while, and we're kind of boys. We're just chilling, and one of them gets a girlfriend, and it's a pretty serious relationship, you know? Like, he's head over heels in love with this hoe, okay? He's so in love with this girl that he's doing things that you know guys only do when they're in love. Like, he's writing her letters, he's, you know, sending her vans in the mail. Like, he's in love with this chick. Trust me, it's pretty obvious that he's in love with this chick. So, you know, he's just billin', chillin', doing the type of things that villains do, being in love with this girl. And when a guy falls in love with a girl, he tends to distance himself from the boys a small amount, you know? You go from playing Fortnite every night, blowing stuff up in the parking lot of a Denny's at 4 in the morning, to seeing him maybe once a week when his girlfriend says it's okay to go hang out. And that's just how life is. When a relationship's new, people get super obsessed with their girlfriend. You don't tend to see him as much. So, for the first time in our entire lives, we're really hanging out with the other twin a ton. Right? Like, they're kind of separated. One twin's with his girlfriend, the other twin's with us, and, you know, we're just kind of being more close with the other brother because we're with him more. Like, call me crazy here. If I don't see you for 3 months, it's a lot harder to be your friend than if I see you all the time. And I guess the twin brother that had the girlfriend started to get a little jealous, and they started fighting a ton because he's like, no, like, you're trying to steal all of our friends, man. Like, they don't even talk to me anymore. And the other brother was like, dude, that's because you spend all your time with your girlfriend, right? So the twin brother who has the girlfriend is like, you know what? You're right, man. The boys come first. And that is correct. Saturdays are for the boys. The boys don't need all the time in the world. They just want to feel important, all right? The boys want to feel loved too, damn it. We just need Saturdays. So he decides that he's going to start hanging out with us more, and he does. And the twin brothers are kind of hanging out together again. We're all together again. Everybody's having a good time. And for a little bit, it looks like the 4 nations are living in harmony, you know? We're Avatar out here, and the Fire Nation has yet to attack. Everything is going pretty alright, and everything is great until the Fire Nation attacks. But I guess when the other brother started hanging out with us instead of his girlfriend more, the girlfriend started to get a little needy, you know? She started to need a little bit more of attention. And I guess she just really likes the genetics of this family. Like, she thought her the other brother was really hot because she starts trying to get attention from his twin brother, which honestly might be the most brain-dead decision of all time. Like, look, don't cheat on people. It's not cool. Cheating is just not cool. You shouldn't do it, all right? But if you're gonna cheat, don't do it with their twin brother, bro. Like, that is some next level bad idea-ery? How do you say bad idea? Idea. I don't know the word. All right, you guys know what? I'm smart. All right, I graduated high school. You guys haven't yet, so suck it. But she starts getting attention from the twin brother, and we didn't know this at the time, but out of nowhere, the guy's twin brother starts being super secretive with his phone. Like, for the most part, when you're just hanging out with the boys, you'll kind of just, like, leave your phone on the table, and you don't really care if people see who's texting you or who's Snapchatting you, because we're usually not sleeping with each other's girlfriends. You know, generally, the guy code is, you don't do that. That's what good friends do. That's what good brothers do, all right? Like, if my brother ever stole my girlfriend, he is catching the fade. I will slap him with the turkey at Thanksgiving dinner. His Christmas present will be nothing but elephant poop for the next 40 years. Like, bruh, you don't do that to your brother. You don't do that to your friends. You just shouldn't do that, period. But especially to your twin brother. Like, out of everyone you expect to finesse your girlfriend, it's never your twin. We're living in the darkest timeline where evil twins actually exist and they steal your girlfriend out from under your nose. But he starts being super secretive with his phone, and we're just kind of like, I don't know, maybe he's gay or something. Like, maybe he's embarrassed and hasn't come out yet. I don't know. We had theories, but, like, none of us really cared. We were just kind of like, oh, that's kind of weird that you're being super secretive with your phone. I mean, we'll accept you for who you are, bro. Don't sweat it, you know? Like, we don't care. We're homies. Homies for life. And homies always got each other back. We're like brothers, you know, because brothers are supposed to be crazy loyal to each other. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Here comes the train wreck. So one day we're hanging out, and the other brother doesn't do a good job of hiding his phone, all right? He kind of leaves it face up on the table and walks away to go to the bathroom, and the phone goes off. And shockingly, most iPhones look pretty similar. And them being brothers, he just looks at the name on the phone and sees it's his girlfriend's name. So he slides the phone open because he's expecting it's his phone. His girlfriend's texting him. Obviously, it would be me. Why would my girlfriend be texting my brother? And he opens it up to a picture, all right? And I'm not going to describe the picture, okay? But we all know what I'm saying. You guys are smart enough to put 2 and 2 together. You're rocket scientists in your own right. I've seen you guys do incredible things in the comments section. You know how many memes you've made down there? I know you guys are next level genius thinkers, but you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. He sees a picture and is like, wow, this is crazy. And then he realizes, this isn't my phone. And I don't know what a worse way to figure out that your girlfriend's two-timing you with your twin brother is other than doing that in the middle of all your friends. But he immediately puts the phone down, doesn't say anything, and just walks outside. And we're all like, huh, that was weird. Maybe they got an emergency text, whatever. Maybe he has to go do something. I don't really know what's going on. All I know is that 1 second he was here and the next second he walked outside. So we're like, wow, that was strange, whatever. So we're kind of just sitting on the couch like, whatever, and the twin brother comes out of the bathroom. I don't know where he went, somewhere to do something. It might have been the bathroom. I don't remember, okay? It's not like exactly I was like, man, did you go pee? Did you pee right now? Did you pee? Are you sure? Let me sniff it. Let me sniff it and make sure you peed. Like, that's not what I was about. So the twin brother looks at us and says, hey, who opened my phone? And we're like, huh, what are you talking about? None of us have checked our phone. The only one that did was, and we say his brother's name, and his eyes get so big, like the size of dinner plates, all right? I've seen smaller eyes in anime, and those people have huge eyes. And he goes, where is he? And we're like, oh, he went outside, and he goes, I'll be right back. So he opens the door and runs outside, and next thing you know, we just hear yelling, like, how dare you? Like, I'm gonna kill you, like, that type of yelling. So we all get up and go outside, and we get out there, and these brothers are just fighting. Like, they are swinging on each other. They're throwing haymakers. They're throwing John Cena's. At one point, I'm pretty sure somebody threw a lemon. I don't know where the lemon came from. Probably a Trader Joe's parking lot. All I know is that this fight is getting crazy, and we're sitting here like, bro, what is going on right now? Like, hello? So we go out, and we break it up. We split them up, and we're like, yo, calm down. Like, it's good. And the brother's like, You're cheating on my girlfriend's cheating on me with my brother. My girlfriend's cheating on me with my brother. And we're like, what? Hold on. What? And if you guys remember, Grant's been cheated on before, and Grant was there, and Grant's like, wait, hold on, what do you mean? So we get the story, we calm him down, and we're like, oh my god, this is super messed up. We're all kind of looking at the brother who's two-timing with his girlfriend, and we're like, dog, this is your brother. Like, how could you do this to your brother, man? Come on, that is scuffed. And he's like, what, man? Like, she wanted attention, you weren't being a good boyfriend to her, so I stepped in and did your job. Like, I'm the real man here, and call me crazy here, but I don't think it's a super manly move to get with your twin brother's girlfriend. That's kind of scuffed. That is really messed up. On a scale of being a good person, that's kind of up there with like running over kittens in a parking lot, all right? You're not a good person if you cheat on your brother's girlfriend. Your brother, not even just your brother, your twin brother. You guys are literally the same DNA, bro. Like, this is weird. I also have a really weird question. If you're a twin, is it hard to date someone because you're like, oh, they think my sibling's hot too? Because, I mean, if you think about it, you guys look alike. So if they think you're hot, they automatically think that your sibling's hot. That's just, you know, food for thought, food for thought. Anyways, back to the point. So they're arguing back and forth, and he's like, you're not a real man because you couldn't keep her happy, so I had to step in and do your job. And, you know, that's a little awkward. So we're kind of like, all right, we're done hanging out for the night. Everybody goes home, right? And we make a separate group chat with the brother that got cheated on, and we're like, hey, man, we got your back. Like, if you don't want us to talk to your brother anymore, let us know. Like, we're here for you, bro. Like, I'm really sorry you have to go through this. Just being good friends, you know? We're not like, hey, man, haha, take the L. You got cheated on. Big wee. Here, let's do a Fortnite dance on him. No, we feel bad, obviously. And he's like, yeah, you know, obviously it sucks, but thank you guys for being good friends. Like, thanks for having my back. So we think things are going to be chill. There's no way this relationship is going to continue. There is no way after you get caught, you know, sneaking around with your brother's girlfriend, that relationship stays together and good things happen. I just feel like that's not how this works. And you would think that. But they're still dating, bro. This man not only stole his brother's girlfriend that he was in love with, but kept dating her. How awkward are family, like, dinners? How awkward is it to go over to his house and see the ex-boyfriend that you finessed right there on the couch that looks exactly like your boyfriend? How could you do that to your brother, man? I didn't really know that sociopaths were actually a thing. Like, I just thought they might have been something in horror movies. But after watching this guy, like, that's some sociopathic behavior. I'm sorry. If you can finesse your brother's girlfriend and not feel like a horrible person, then you're just kind of crazy. Like, how could you do that and not explode? I feel bad if I accidentally cut somebody off in traffic, let alone steal my twin brother's girlfriend and keep dating her. Like, he really did. Man, I don't really care that you're heartbroken, bro. Best of luck. And just kept dating his girlfriend. So, yeah, moral of the story is if you have a twin and you're the good twin, keep in mind that you probably have an evil twin out there that is definitely going to try to steal your girlfriend at some point, and if he does, then you're going to have to watch them date forever, and there's nothing you can do about it. Real talk, though, I do feel bad for the guy. Don't cheat on people, and if you do, make sure it's not with their sibling. But, yeah, on that note, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought. So, basically, today's notification shout-out goes to the one, the only Gamer Girl. Big shout-out to you for having on notifications. If you want a notification shout-out, all you got to do is send a screenshot of your notifications on to me on Instagram at Scrubby, and I shout somebody out every day. But, yeah, be sure to press the like button, comment down below, subscribe if you're new. Don't get anyone pregnant, and if you do, make sure it's not your twin brother's girlfriend, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. I'm out. Peace. Your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having an absolutely incredible day. I know If you are, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. The Amazon fire will never go out. Yeah, that's right. The lungs of the earth are in your guys' hands. If you press the like button, then every tree will be saved for every like. Yeah, you gotta send it. Anyways, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, and today I'm gonna be telling you guys the story of a time me and my friends got lost in the woods. Yeah, that's right. We are definitely not the most big-brained savages to ever exist, but regardless, it's pretty funny, and it ends up with me thinking that there's a bear outside of our camp and just embarrassing myself. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. So I had a bunch of friends throughout the squad. It was a pretty tight-knit squad, and like we definitely didn't really have a ton of people in it. It was only 5 or 6 of us that were all super close. And anyways, it was our senior year, and we had a random week off. The school we went to basically had this issue of they didn't want to use any like in-staff development days, so they just chunked 5 of them together and gave us a random week off in May, you know? And May in Las Vegas, it starts to get really, really hot, like 100, 115, 120 degrees on average. So once May hits, you kind of just expect it to not be cool at all. But there's this mountain right near our school, near our town, named Mount Charleston, and it's pretty cool. I think it's like 10, 20 degrees cooler. So over this week, me and the boys decide that we're gonna go camping. And you know, none of us are very outdoorsy folk. The way I could describe us is like, you know, in the movie about a video game where there's like the 3 kids that are in charge of the computers and they're all super nerdy and out of shape and like can't actually do anything athletic. Yeah, that was me and my friends, all right? So we decide for some reason that we're gonna go camping and go outdoors in the better weather, and like, and the truth of the matter is we should have just stayed in and played Halo, but whatever. I get convinced to go on this camping trip. We plan it and we're like, no, we're not gonna take a trailer. We're gonna get tents and we're gonna catch fish for our own food. Like we're gonna go off the beaten path and do what we have to do and make things happen to survive, which is genuinely one of the worst ideas I've ever heard in my entire life. Like it definitely is not a good idea. But hey, the mountain in Las Vegas is like only an hour away, so even if we get screwed and don't have any food or like can't find anything, it's not like we can't just hop in the car and drive an hour back. Like at the end of the day, not that big of a deal. We're fine. No skin off our back. We can always go get supplies if we really need it, right? That's what I thought. So whatever, we all commit, and about a couple days before we leave, keep in mind I've planned to go over to this place just an hour outside of town. I haven't packed anything super intense. I'm not even really packing hiking shoes because I'm figuring we'll just like park right next to our camping spot, you know? One of the kids goes, oh yeah, my parents said we could go to this place in Utah if you want. And the difference is this place in Utah is super isolated, all right? I'm talking at least 2-3 hours from any real civilization. You can't see a city from where it's at. It's more isolated. People are always traveling through. It's not a super popular tourist spot. We should go there instead. And I'm like, you know, guys, we haven't exactly planned to actually be in the wilderness, all right? Like, we were planning to go to the fake wilderness, okay? Like, we were going to go to a forest or a mountain where, you know, I don't know, half the trees are like cell phone antennas. That was my plan, at least. I wasn't exactly super hyped for the idea of actually being in the middle of nowhere. Because don't get me wrong, the outdoors and cool and all, but I was never made to survive outside, you know? Like, there's some people in this world that are hunters and gatherers, and they just thrive in nature. It's their sweet places where they're happiest. You know, I really like CSGO, so definitely not the type of guy who wants to go live in the middle of the woods. But all my friends are like, yeah, dude, let's do it. It'll be so lit. And I'm like, all right, fine. You know, fine. I'll end up in the middle of the woods in Utah. But if I die, it's on you, okay? My parents are going to be really, really sad at my funeral, and that's going to be on your guys' conscience. But if you want that to be on your conscience, that's fine. So the day comes before our week off, and we pack up our stuff and go to Utah. And after about a 4-hour drive, we get there. And our friend pulls off to like the side of the road, parks and says, all right, let's go. And we're all like, oh, like, is it right here? Like, wow, it's really wood. And he goes, no, it's like a 2-hour hike. So let me get this straight. Not only am I 2 hours away from civilization, ladies and gentlemen, not only that, but on top of that, I have to hike another 2 hours into the middle of the woods to find this land that your parents own. Did your parents buy land in Narnia? Like, did your parents buy land in North Korea? Are we sneaking over the border to meet Kim Jong-un? What is going on here? Why would you buy land that's so isolated? That just seems silly to me. Like, call me crazy here. I'm not a big fan of having to walk 2 miles to be stuck in the woods, all right? The entire point of camping is to be one with nature, but I'm not trying to be one with nature like French kiss it. I'm just trying to, you know, caress its hand gently. Like, I'm not trying to make moves out here. I'm really just trying to camp and have a good time with the boys and get a little hydrated. That's all I was really going for. So we hike this 2 hours into the woods and finally stumble upon this land. He goes, all right, this is it. So, like, let's set up camp, all right? And like I said, I didn't even have hiking shoes, so I just did this super hard hike for 2 hours in Vans, and my feet are basically bleeding. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, in that moment, if I had a cheese grater, I might have just scraped off the bottom floor of my foot, because it was all in pain. I know that's a visual none of you guys wanted, but there, it's yours now. It's in your head. You guys keep it, hold on to that, you know, do whatever you want. I don't really care. So, after this 2-hour hike, we start setting up camp, and I'm really hungry. And if you remember, we made the bright idea, the super bright idea, to not really pack a bunch of food, because we're like, we're gonna fish and forage, which, you know, sounds super Bear Grylls in the middle of chemistry class, all right? But it's way less Bear Grylls when you're hungry in the middle of the woods with the sun going down. Like, none of that is dope. But our friend's like, don't worry, okay, there's a fishing reservoir, there's like a lake thing, I don't really know what it was, reservoir, lake, pond, what's the difference? Okay, there was fish in it, so we just gotta go fishing, and we're like, oh yeah, for sure, except, we're all a bunch of city boys from Las Vegas who have never caught a fish, alright? We are not experts by any means. None of us are really out here blazing the Appalachian Trail, settling the west of America with our cowboy hats on. We are not those types of kids. So whatever, we go fishing, and I actually managed to catch a fish because I am an outdoorsman, you know. I lied earlier about not being made for the outdoors. Since I caught a fish, I basically proved that I'm better at surviving than Bear Grylls. So we're doing all this stuff all weekend, and it's actually pretty fun. Like, don't get me wrong, it was hard. We managed to catch enough fish. We managed to get water. Like, we were really doing okay, you know? And I was on top of my world. I was like, dang, we really are some outdoorsmen out here, you know? Like, no one thought we could do it, but we did. We're basically the Portland Trailblazers, you know? Like, everyone's like, oh, all they have is one good player. And then we come out the cut and beat Russell Westbrook with the fadeaway, you know? Like, that's just how life has to be sometimes. And regardless, I was feeling pretty confident after surviving for 5 days in the middle of the woods without packing a ton of supplies, which, like I said, is really dumb. Don't do that. If you're gonna go camping, take enough supplies just to be safe. You can try to be cool and be Bear Grylls, but the least you can do is make sure everything's safe first, you know? That was our mistake. So, whatever, we just did this super savage, swagged out camping trip, and we're like, all right, now we gotta hike the 2 hours back in. And like I said, it was super fun. A bunch of stupid stuff went down. We got pretty hydrated basically every night. We went fishing. We had ourselves a good time. You guys get the 411 and the 411, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Everybody keep your smiles on. But this 2-hour hike that's supposed to be us just coming out of the woods, you know, very slowly and very quickly gets a little off course. And next thing we know, it's been 4 hours and we have no idea where we are. And I don't know if you've ever been from the high of actually thinking you're Bear Grylls. I thought I was king of the mountain. I was actually going to bathe in salmon blood to make the bears come try to fight me because I was such a mountain man. To being lost, you realize just how much the earth can screw you guys, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, I love the earth, but has anyone thought about how easy it is for the earth to kill us? All right, it has sharks on it. I don't have sharks on me. I can't fight back. And here I am stuck in the middle of the woods with nothing but wilderness around me. And I'm pretty sure this is GG. This is going to be the end of it. So I actually start getting mad at the guy who's guiding us. I'm like, how did you get us lost? What the hell, bro? Like, come on. And he's kind of apologetic. He's like, I didn't try to get us lost, all right? It wasn't on my agenda. Purposely get lost. So as we're lost, we're trying to figure out what to do. And it's a pretty hard decision to make when you're stuck in the middle of the woods. Like, do you stay put? Do you try to go back the way you came? Do you keep going? Like, what are you supposed to do? And I basically take control of the group and I'm like, look, guys, we're lost. It's pitch black pretty soon. It's taken way longer. We still have another day till we were supposed to be back. So let's just walk back as far as we can and then we'll set up camp. So we hike maybe an hour back and decide to set up camp. And this is the first night we're lost in the woods. And we were going back a day early just because we all decided that we wanted to play Fortnite and goof off for a little bit before we actually had to get ready to go back. So, well, not Fortnite. Fortnite wasn't out. Call of Duty. I don't really know what it was even the big game back then. It might have been Minecraft. Who knows? Who knows? All right. Games come and go, but friendships are forever, damn it. So we set up camp for that night, and all of us are pretty terrified, all right? Like, I don't know if you've ever actually felt lost, but it's like one of the most hopeless feelings I can ever describe. You basically realize that nature is huge, and it does not care about you. And, like, if nature wants you to get yeeted, you're gonna get yeeted. You're not winning a fight against nature. So obviously we're all pretty scared, but thankfully we have tents and whatnot. We still had some leftover food, so we're okay for that night. But as the sun's going down and it starts to get creepier, I definitely started to freak out. Because, like, you know, when you feel safe and you feel like you're on a campground in the woods, there's a lot less to worry about. You're not as stressed. But as soon as you're lost, all these noises start, like, freaking you out, you know? In the middle of the night, probably around 2 in the morning, I started hearing these rustling in the bushes. And I was like, oh my God, we're going to die. Like, I don't know what it is. Obviously, there's bears in the woods, there's mountain lions, stuff that can, you know, yeet you. And when you and your buddies are huddling for warmth, the last thing you want is a cougar to come get a triple kill. Like, that was not trying to be on the agenda. And the noises kept getting closer and closer. Like, I started, when I was first hearing them, from a little bit outside of, like, our camp, for lack of a better word. And I definitely was a little scared, but I didn't really think anything of it. I was like, no big deal. Like, everything's going to be fine, right? And as it started to get closer and closer, another friend of mine woke up and looked at me and was like, do you hear that? And I was like, yeah. And he said, it sounds like a bear. And obviously, we were a bunch of city kids from Las Vegas. Like, if we would have stayed lost forever, we definitely would have croaked after, like, another day, okay? We were not going to be very powerful. I don't know why I believed him, but when he told me it was a bear, I instantly started freaking out. Like, I was like, oh my God, we're yeeted, we're donezo. And then something started rubbing against the outside of our tent, and me and him were, like, trying to stay still, okay? I'm not even gonna lie, our sleeping bags were about to be multiple shades of yellow, because I was about to piss myself. Like, nothing is terrifying quite like thinking there's a bear sitting outside of this tent you're in, and it's going to devour you. Like, that is not a very cash money feeling, if I'm allowed to quote Lil Wayne here. So we're staying still, and then it, like, pushes up against the tent harder, right? And which is obviously terrifying because even in the moonlight, we can see like this outline of it and it's got hair and it looks scary and there's like stuff on its head and we're like, oh my God, like we're yeeted, we're donezo. So after about 2 minutes of it like pressing up against the tent, we can kind of tell that it's licking the outside of the tent, right? So I kind of lift up like our little tarp thing to look out the window of the tent, like the mesh, and it was a deer. But I almost pissed myself in the middle of the night over a deer, and when I saw it was a deer, I still screamed like a little girl because, I don't know, apparently that's what you do when you see a deer and you're from the city and you think it's a bear that's going to eat your skin, all right? Sometimes you do things you're not too proud of. So I screamed that everybody woke up, and I kind of got bullied for the rest of the night, which is fine, but we ended up getting sleep. And when we woke up, the kid whose land it was ended up knowing kind of where we were. We ended up taking another 2 hours to get back to where we were originally camping, and then it took us 6 hours to get out. And during those 6 hours, I definitely thought we were still going to get lost. And like, the worst part about getting lost with a bunch of people who are unexperienced in the woods is we were already kind of like breaking into factions and deciding who we would eat first. Like, come on. Okay, we're a bunch of city kids from Las Vegas. The only thing we're going to cannibalize is a box of Twinkies. Like, I'm sorry. We were not super savage. And yeah, along those 8 hours of hiking that we had to do the next day, it definitely wasn't fun. Like, I would give it a 0 out of 10 experience. Being forced to march does not feel cool, and now I know it's against the law in the Geneva Convention. But on that note, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Today's notification shout-out goes out to Moss000. Big shout-out to you for having on notifications, man. If you enjoyed, I'd appreciate you hitting the like button and commenting down below. But on that note, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. Don't get lost in the woods because, trust me, it's scary. And if you hear something rubbing against your tent, punch it in the face because even if it's a bear, it's a good way to go. Good way to go. In a while, and it's making me depressed. So depressed that I called Susan down herself to kick me in the shins with high heels unless this video gets 10,000 likes. I know I'm desperate. Yes, I know I'm begging. No, I don't feel bad. Press the like button. Otherwise, I will actually be kicked in the shin by Susan herself, and she's wearing high heels. You guys don't want me to get kicked by Susan wearing high heels, okay? That is a pain I would not wish upon my worst enemy. Today we're going to be talking about the cringiest kid that I had in my class. I have a lot of cringy kid stories, okay? I have this person. I have a girl who swore that she was the next big Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, teen social media star that I'm probably going to talk about tomorrow. We're bringing it back, baby. We're going to my roots. We're going to talk about some old-fashioned cringe. But today we're going to be talking about an emo kid. There was a lot of emo kids at my school. I don't know why it was. Like, my school had a really good theater program, and we had, like, a magnet program for it. So a lot of kids at our school were there for theater. And I don't know what it is about theater kids, but for some reason, they just have a very high emo population. It's probably the fact they have to listen to other theater kids sing so much that makes them want to hate their life. But, you know, regardless, for some reason at my school, there was a massive amount of emos. And I don't know, I don't really hate my life. Like, I'm not an emo kid by any means. I went through a bad emo phase in middle school, but I think by the time you're 17,
This is the story of a soldier who operates your nation's Patriot missile defense systems. It begins in California, with a little girl raised by two moms. Although I had a fairly typical childhood, took ballet, played violin, I also marched for equality. I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age. When I was 6 years old, one of my moms had an accident that left her paralyzed. Doctors said she might never walk again. But she tapped into my family's pride to get back on her feet, eventually standing at the altar to marry my other mom. With such powerful role models, I finished high school at the top of my class and then attended UC Davis, where I joined a sorority full of other strong women. But as graduation approached, I began feeling like I'd been handed so much in life, a sorority girl stereotype. Sure, I'd spent my life around inspiring women, but what had I really achieved on my own? One of my sorority sisters was studying abroad in Italy. Another was climbing Mount Everest. I needed my own adventures, my own challenge. And after meeting with an Army recruiter, I found it. A way to prove my inner strength and maybe shatter some stereotypes along the way. I'm U.S. Army Corporal Emma Malone Lord, and I answered my calling.
Why does it take forever to find something to watch?
Just start with Hulu. Live channels, exclusive series, and originals. It's everything you love.
Everything I love is on Hulu?
Everything I love, including me?
Everything? Love?
It's on Hulu? Nomadland?
Last Sports and Family Guy?
Every drama that I love is on Hulu?
Time to have everything you love. Time to have Hulu.
"17, 18 years old, you'd probably grow out of the I hate neighborhood." Like, it's just kind of cringy to be like, life's so hard, my dad bought me a new Toyota instead. But regardless, there were plenty of those kids in my school who would just find a way to hate their life. I don't know. It was an emo cringe squad. They actually did not get along with the werewolf crew. I made another story time a while ago about kids. There was like this werewolf group at my school that was super weird. But regardless, you know, there was a lot of emo kids, and they had their very own clique, and they were like a little gang almost, except instead of, you know, being intimidating and being able to like fight and run the yard like a real gang, they would just complain a lot and sing My Chemical Romance lyrics at the top of their lungs in the hallway. And God, like, why do people sing in the hallway if they can't sing? If you are tone deaf and sound like, I don't know, Helen Keller trying to sing the alphabet, just don't open your mouth. You don't have to sing. No one's going to be impressed with you. You're not good at singing, and that's okay. Not everyone is good at singing at the end of the day, so shut up. Just go to class. You don't need to sing in the hallway. But for some reason, emo kids would always like sing in the hallway. I'm getting off topic here. I'm gonna get back on now. That's important. But if you can't sing, don't sing. It's really simple. But regardless, this gang of emo theater kids would hang out in the front of the lunchroom, like in this little courtyard thing we had in our school. And they had a leader, and this was the type of kid, like, he literally looked like the dude in the thumbnail, right? He would wear eyeshadow to school every day and like these weird designs. He had contacts that made his eyes white. The ultimate cringy edgelord. Like, if someone was like, write down what you think the meaning of life is in English class, you'd be like, life is meaningless. It's just an illusion of happiness. My mom hates me. My dad and my stepdad get along. Life's so hard. And everybody knows. Like, listen, life is hard. I'm not trying to say that you can't go through hard times, but something about being like, I'm just gonna color shapes on my eyelashes with eyeliner and then talk about how hard my life is all the time. It's just cringy. Like, look, everybody goes through hard times. Everybody goes through stuff, but it's not an excuse to use it to get attention because you don't get enough of it at home, okay? Like, cool your jets there, Benny Hanna. You're just like the rest of us. But regardless, the leader of this little emo gang would wear eyeliner and cool designs, and he had white contacts, and he would talk about how meaningless life is. It's all an empty void, deprived of all love and sensation except for the few lucky ones that manage to work as a cog in the machine, and I'm not gonna be a cog. Dude, it was literally like he watched a weird fan fiction version of The Matrix and just started quoting it. Like, yeah, Neo, take the blue pill. It's all not real. It's all fake. It's not real reality. And he was like, damn, bro, that's so deep. I'm gonna start talking about people are cogs in machines, and I'm just gonna look so deep. So obviously, Mr. Deep Guy was just a cringe lord, and I don't have a problem keeping my mouth, like, I do have a problem keeping my mouth shut. I don't have a problem calling people out when they're being cringy. I don't know why. It's just like, I can't deal with it. If I don't point it out, it blows my mind, or I have to laugh at it. It's one of the two. Like, I can't take it seriously, or I have to call it out. Like, if you really sit there, oh, life's so hard, I'm going to giggle. I can't take you seriously unless your life's hard. Like, listen, if your life's hard and you're going through a hard time and you're like, wow, You know, I'm just going through a lot. By all means, I get it. I get it. Life can be really, really hard sometimes, and that's okay. But when you color on your face to make it look like, I don't know, a 4-year-old gently trying to color in the sun, like outside the lines and stuff, and just complain about everything in your life sucking, yeah, I'm gonna make fun of you. I'm sorry, I don't feel bad. And me and this guy really already did not get along because, it's like I said, he had a whole little crew of emo kids that were underneath him. Like, he was the emo overlord, all right? Like, when they went to Hot Topic, he got all the coupons. That was the deal. That probably was their deal, to be honest with you. It was something stupid like that. Regardless, he was kind of the leader of this emo gang, and I had already gotten into like a little bit of a scuffle, not a fight, but just kind of like yelled at one of his friends and got his friend in trouble once in art class. So me and this guy did not get along. Me and the whole emo kids did not get along because I don't know. They just made me cringe a lot, and we got into beef, okay? That's all there was to it. Me and this guy already did not get along, and like I said, in our English class, he would write poems about how hard life is when it wasn't the assignment, and then would read it in front of the class. And I'm sorry, that's just cringy. I can't take you seriously. Like, if your assignment is to write an essay about Frankenstein, and then you get up and share a haiku about how hard life is because Dan, your stepdad, watches too many NFL games with your mom, so you and her can't write poetry together, that's not the assignment, bro. Cool your jets. Like, I don't know. It was just weird. So one day, homeboy is reading some poetry in front of the English class, and he says something along the lines of like, no one will ever understand my pain, and then rhymed it with rain, and I just started laughing. And the entire classroom just turns and gives me like this dirty look. And I'm sorry, but this dude has hieroglyphics on his forehead in eyeliner and is rhyming pain with rain while standing in front of a class in high school when the assignment was to write our thoughts and feelings about Jurassic Park, which is what we were reading. I can't take you seriously, bro. So he says to me, he's like, oh, do we have a problem here? And I'm like, no, dude, it's just kind of corny. And he's like, what's corny about my emotions? And I said, the fact that you're telling them to people you don't know. Like, you don't need to overshare with me, dude. I do not know you like that. Like, you don't need to tell me that you're crying every night because you miss your mom and dad, or like what? I don't even know. I don't think his parents even were divorced, to be fair. Like, it was basically, he was whining about the fact that his mom and dad didn't understand him. I was just using the stupid Dan watching NFL joke, okay? But like, I don't know you like that. You don't need to tell me that your mom and dad don't understand you and you cry every night from the rain and the pain while you're feeling so insane. It's insufferable. Like, no one cares, dude. I don't know you. You don't need to share this with me. But regardless, I kind of pointed out that it's weird that the assignment was to write our feelings about Jurassic Park, and he had the need to get up and read poetry about mommy and daddy not liking him or whatever. I don't even know. And I obviously, he did not like this very much, and he's like, it's an expression of my inner emotions. And I was like, dude, no one cares about your inner emotions. You don't know us. We don't know you. No one is sitting here going, I wonder what hieroglyphic on his forehead boy is thinking about his home life situation. Like, bruh, if you got problems, go to a counselor. They have counselors at school for a reason. Me sitting here trying to read Jurassic Park, I'm not your therapist. Like, if you got issues, go talk to somebody else. And so obviously, me telling this kid to go get a therapist because his English class does not care about his problems makes him pretty pissed off because he's been reading poetry all year, and I've just been silently judging and giggling at it the entire time. So he gets all pressed and starts asking me if I have a problem, like, do I really want to take it outside or whatever? And I'm just laughing. Like, I'm laughing while I'm telling him all this, because imagine some emo kid that you just said his poetry sucks and you don't care being like, you got a problem, bro? So whatever, my English teacher gets up and says that I'm being extremely rude to him for he's just trying to share his feelings. And listen, I need to clarify this because I feel like people are going to think I'm a jerk. If your feelings are hurt and you need somebody to vent to, that's cool. Don't do it in front of your entire English class when the assignment is to write about dinosaurs, okay? Like, imagine you're just sitting in class ready to write about dinosaurs and a book about dinosaurs in an amusement park. And then homeboy starts pulling up, rapping, and crying about, my life's so hard. Like, it's just not the time and the place. There's a time and the place to talk about your feelings, and in front of a bunch of strangers who don't care is not the time or the place. It's just not cool. Like, you're just weird. Like I said, go talk to your friends. I know you have a whole crew of emo kids that would listen to your problems. That's not me. But whatever, I guess I was the rude one. She tells me to go out in the hallway while he finishes his poem, and I'm like, gladly, dude, anything to get away from this bar fest. So I go out in the hallway and whatever, and I come back in, and she's like, you need to apologize. And I'm like, I'm not gonna apologize. I don't feel bad. I would apologize if I felt bad, if I really felt like I did something wrong, but me just telling the kid to do the assignment, shut up, write about dinosaurs, and not write about his problems is nothing. I'm not going to apologize. And she's like, Ryan, you need to apologize. I'm like, I'm not going to apologize. That I'm sorry. It's not personal, except it is. I don't care about your problems and you're constant whining about them. I'm not going to apologize to you because I have nothing to be sorry for. And he says, it's fine. Simpletons don't understand the deep art of poetry. Which, I mean, you know what? Fine. Maybe I was a bit of a jerk for whining about this kid's poetry, but if you're gonna call me stupid for not understanding your poetry, I know you're not talking to me. We're just gonna pretend that you didn't rhyme pain with rain, like the most basic white boy Tumblr poetry of all time. Oh, you think I didn't notice that? You thought you were really slick, huh? That's right, everybody. He rhymed pain with rain and had the balls to say that I was too simple-minded to understand it. So that pisses me off, because if you're gonna call me stupid, at least point out something stupid I've done. I've done a lot of stupid things. There's plenty of things to call me stupid for, but saying your poetry is so complex I can't understand it when you rhyme pain with rain is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And I let him know what I think by just telling him, dude, I'm not stupid, your poetry just sucks balls. Where's my exact words, which of course does not go over well, because I had one of these English teachers that was convinced that everybody deserves stories and everybody deserves to have their voice heard. Truth of the matter is, if you suck at poetry, don't write poetry. And if you rhyme pain with rain to tell me about your problems, your poetry blows, and I have no reason to want to listen to it at all. But I guess I pushed Cringe Lord's button a little bit too hard, because that's it. And he goes, honestly, man, you really just don't know who you're messing with, bro. And I'm like, oh yeah, right, vampiric touch, hot topic poster looking ass. I am not afraid of you. And he's like, whatever, I guess we'll settle this at lunch. And I'm like, then I guess we will settle this at lunch, you freak. And before anyone's like, oh, he's so mean, you're a big bully. Yeah, I make fun of people, you're right. If you're cringy and I call you out and then you have the balls to call me stupid for not understanding your garbage poetry, I'm gonna be mean. I'm not gonna be nice to you. He was mean too. Shut up. You can see the comment now. Maybe you were just a bully. Maybe you should shut up. You ever thought about that? And for everybody who's not commenting I'm a bully and agrees with me that it's not my job to listen to crappy poetry, thank you for having a brain. But regardless, you know, he's saying that we're gonna settle this at lunch. So I'm like, all right, I guess we're gonna settle this at lunch. And I totally forget about it because that's like second period and I had lunch after fourth period. So to be honest with you, I was not expecting to walk into lunch and see some emo kids ready to fight me. I was just not ready for it. I go to lunch, I do my thing, I'm eating lunch with my friends, and I feel this darkness behind me, like this dark voodoo energy. And I turn around, and sure enough, Emo Boy and his whole gang is sitting there, and they're just kind of chilling, and he's looking at me and he goes, are you ready to settle this? I'm like, what are we settling, bro? And he's like, you disrespected my poetry, so I challenge you to combat. This emo kid said, challenge you to combat, like I'm an 18th century senator trying to 1v1 flintlock pistol only in an ultimate battle to the death. Yeah, I challenge you to combat? Bro, get your Mortal Kombat 3 looking nose out of here, dude. You look like a Matrix backup character. And whatever, I'm just not in the mood to deal with this right now. Like, I'm really just not. I'm like, dude, I don't want to fight you. And he's like, oh, what? You're gonna talk about my poetry and then not fight me? And I was like, yeah, I mean, kind of. That's the plan. And he goes, get up. And he like takes my chair and dumps me out of it, like picks up the back and like pushes it. He doesn't like pick up the chair, but you know what I mean? Like when you push the chair up and the person kind of slides out of it. And at this point, I'm getting pissed. And I'm like, dude, can you just knock it off, please? And I am by no means a fighter. I don't consider myself a fighter. I have not won many fights by any means. I've been in a few, have not won many. I think I probably got a 50% win-loss rate when it comes to hand-to-hand combat situations, okay? I'm definitely not a Fortnite player out here beating people to death with a pickaxe. But I know for a fact that I can beat this kid up because he's the only person in the world who is skinnier than me and also writes poetry. And I know I can beat up a dude who writes poetry that rhymes rain with pain. I know that for a fact. So I turn around and I'm like, if you want to do this, we can do this. And he goes, I want nothing more. And like drops into a combat stance. Like, you know when they do the squat, like arm above the head at a 90-degree angle, looking like you watched a Bruce Lee movie and went, oh, so that's how you fight. Like that is what this dude looks like. And so I'm laughing again. And he goes to try to kick me in the face. He goes for just a kick in the face. That was his opening move, all right? Like he was playing chess and his opening move was kick to the forehead, 99 points of damage. This is not a Pokemon battle. And of course, he is by no means athletic. He has not had any like martial arts training. So I just step back and his foot misses my face. And I give him this weird look like, did you just try to kick me in the face? I didn't say it, but the look of like, really? Really, dude? Really? And he gets back in the combat stance and says, let it begin. Like, I don't know where this dude got his fight interaction from, but he was no joke acting like we were a final boss in a video game, 1v1 here. And it just made me even angrier. I was like, this dude looks like a gremlin and he's jumping around like, combat, boss fight. So whatever, he's in this combat stance walking in circles around me like they do in a kung fu movie. I'm telling you, that's the only fight experience this kid has had is watching people fight in kung fu movies. And he does the thing with his hand, like the come here movement, like where you take your hand and you put your palm up and you go like, ho ho, come here, combat me, please, ho ho. And I'm like, dude, this is whatever. So whatever. He gets up and starts charging at me. And like I said, he's doing all this fancy combat stuff. He's doing like the come here movement. And he gets close to me and I just punch him in the face like as hard as I can. And I hit him square in the nose and his nose starts to bleed. And I didn't even mean to hit him. Like, okay, I did. Obviously, when I went to punch him, my goal was to hit him. But I swear the kid acted like I like unlocked my secret double extra YY combat move to just extra punch him just in the face. Because he like pulls back and goes, huh, a worthy opponent. And I'm like, dude, this is not an anime. We are fighting. Shut up. Stop talking. Go write a poem about how I just punched you in the nose and now it's bleeding. And whatever. So he's like, a worthy opponent. Like we're the next Hokage or something. I don't know what's going on. I'm as confused as you are. But anyways, this dude is like swearing that this is finally a worthy opponent. Haha, someone to master my combat skills with. So he comes back around like a ninja and I just punch him in the face again. And at this point, my dean is like trying to pull us apart and I'm just seeing red. I'm pissed. So I'm just swinging at him. I'm kicking. Like I'm doing everything I can to try to just beat this kid. And he's like, a worthy opponent. Like, he's still talking in some anime voices. I don't know what his game plan was, but he just sounds stupid. So I'm pissed off. They finally get us apart, and he's like, well, I guess we have this settled. I was like, you lost. He's like, well, we'll let history be the judges of that. Like, I don't even, something stupid about, I guess we'll let other people be the judge of that or whatever. And everyone agrees that I beat him up because he was doing weird stuff. I punched him in the face twice. It was not like a super intense fight. No NBA Matumbo, WWE SmackDown stuff, but it was definitely a fight nonetheless. I fought a crazy emo kid and won, punched him in the face repeatedly, which I guess is as close to a fight as you can get. I actually had a couple more interactions with this kid, but I'll save those for another video because this is getting long. If you want more stories about this kid, let me know in the comment section down below. I would appreciate it. But on that note, that's gonna do it for the video, guys. If you enjoyed, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Comment, like, subscribe if you're new, all that good stuff, and hopefully I'll see you soon with another video. My name is Scrubby. Don't get anyone pregnant, and if you do, make sure they're hot. I'm out. Peace. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having an incredible day. I know I am. If you are, I would appreciate you smashing that like button harder than Logan Paul smashed Chloe Bennett. That's right, guys. No joke, no scam. I'm feeling a little bit sick today, so if I sound a little unenthusiastic, that's why. I feel like I might have actually gotten hit with a meteor that destroyed Tilted Towers. That's not going to stop me from providing some juicy, goddamn content to you beautiful people. You little, I don't know, something that's beautiful. Daisy flowers. You guys are flowers. Okay, whatever you think you are, all right? That's what you are in my head. So I'm going to be telling you guys the story of a kid that thought he was a SoundCloud rapper that went to my school. That's right, cringe entailed. Homeboy looked like, I don't know, Post Malone without the tattoos and a Jewish last name, all right? He was definitely not the rapper type at all. And the level of cringe that was delivered off him swearing that he was the next Eminem was delicious and juicy. His name was Charles, no joke. I'm not even going to use a fake name because Charles fits him so well. And Charles liked to rap about things that made him feel hood, you know? Charles liked to be like, yeah, I grew up on the streets. And you know, Charles did not grow up on the street. And I know Charles did not grow up on the street because me and him were neighbors. Well, we lived on the same street. We weren't exactly neighbors, but you guys get the idea. And I know Charles did not grow up in the hood because he had two Jewish parents that were the CEO of a company in the area and a finance officer. So homeboy literally had the opposite of the street. He drove his own golf cart to school and was like, yeah, I grew up in the hood, you know, I've had to see things. Like what, bro? The only thing you've had to see is silverware and your college paid for by the time you were 7. This kid had never experienced anything like street in his life, but would wear do-rags to school and talk about how hard growing up on the streets was. And it was just super duper cringy, and everybody would just kind of let Charles run his mouth about, you know, how hood he was because it was super entertaining. Like I said, he was the exact opposite of hood, so hearing this explanation of, yeah, man, you know, I really grew up on the streets was just a joyful experience. And along with wearing do-rags, keep in mind this kid is a 5'5" Jewish kid. He is a short, chubby Jewish kid with a do-rag on. Anyways, getting back to the main point of the story. So one day, we're out in PE. That's right, everybody. Physical education. The jewel of American educational system. Something about throwing balls at other people's faces just really puts a smile on your face. That's what she said. And we were just kind of hanging out. It was a Friday, and on Fridays, there wasn't really much to do, and our PE coaches didn't really care what we did as long as we did not bother them. Like, as long as they could sit next to each other and talk about, you know, March Madness or whatever event was going on, they did not care what we did on Fridays. Because to be honest, they did not get paid enough to deal deal with our crap, which is fair. You know, if you're a teacher, I would not want to deal with a bunch of screaming 14 and 15-year-olds all day. That seems like the worst form of torture imaginable. Maybe that's how we can get information out of people we capture during war. You just put them in a room with teenagers and be like, tell them about what you like, and they'll go on and on about how they're gonna go pro in Fortnite and wear do-rags and call everybody dog, even though they grew up in like the most white class suburb of all time. That would drive me insane. They would get all the information out of me. After 5 minutes, I'd be like, fine, I'll talk. Just please get Charles away from me. The level of cringe is unbearable. I can't do this anymore. Regardless, in PE, we were all just kind of sitting on this bench, and somebody has the speaker and starts playing beats on their phone. And then some people who could rap at least a little bit, we're just kind of meme rapping. Like, we're literally out here just kind of talking about dumb stuff like, yo, I took a fart and it smelled like cabbage. Everybody knows I'm above the average. Like, just stupid stuff that is not serious. Dumb things, just trying to make each other laugh. And everybody's having a great time just kind of hanging out, talking about dumb rap songs that don't really mean anything. And like I said, Charles thought he was going to be a rapper. He had a SoundCloud. Everybody that would listen, he'd ask to listen to his mixtape. And he was one of these people where, like, he'd ask for advice. He'd be like, hey, yo, what do you think of my SoundCloud? And if you answered honestly and you didn't like it, he'd be like, man, you're just a hater. When I make it, you're going to be so jealous. So regardless, this guy is just kind of watching it from afar as we're meme rapping, just having a good time, laughing, joking around, not taking it seriously. Nobody's flaming each other. It's just a chill Friday. Everybody's hanging out, trying to get a good vibe going before the weekend. But I guess, you know, Charles just couldn't have that, because he walks over, swags on over with his do-rag on, really looking like the man who Eminem himself, Slim Shady, would cower in fear at the form of Charles slowly walking towards him. Yo, Eminem, you might be the real Slim Shady, but you got nothing on Charles Lebowski, alright? That is right. I will destroy you. I will eat you like a Chipotle burrito. That is the type of kid that Charles was anyways. So he kind of walks up and says, yo, let me drop a beat. And we're all like, yeah, how about no, Charles? Because you're not good at rapping, 1. 2, for some reason, the kid always felt like he just had to diss everybody in a rap song. Like, he could not just rap about, you know, eating gummy bears and sniffing candles. No. We had to talk about how he's banging your mom in 14 different languages while singing the Teletubbies theme song, and talking about how every teacher in here sucks and is stupid and how he's gonna make it one day. Like, he could not just have a good time. Everything had to be a battle rap in his reason, alright? Like, I guess the only experience he's had with the streets is watching 8 Mile 47 times, you know, the Eminem movie, because Homeboy was really not the type of person that you wanted to have in a battle rap situation. But whatever, he's convinced that that's every rap group ever has to just diss each other and rap diss tracks. So he's like, nah, let me drop a beat and show you how it's really done. And we're like, oh, how it's really done. Yes, Charles, I'm sure you are a rap master. Everyone knows that you drop the sickest bars of all time. And he's not going away. We're like, no, we're not gonna let you rap. And he's like, please. And we're like, fine, Charles, you can drop your raps. No one's gonna be interested. You suck at rapping. No one wants to hear a diss track. We make it very clear. Please do not ruin the mood. We're having a good time. Please do not come out swinging, telling everybody they're ugly and smell like fish sticks, alright? Please don't. We're just trying to have a good time. And he's like, man, if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen. Which is the stupidest thing ever, because we own the kitchen. Get out, Charles. No one wants you here. You're not Gordon Ramsay. This is not Hell's Kitchen. Shut your mouth and leave. But whatever, he's not gonna leave, so we're like, fine, you can rap. And there was a guy in our group whose name, I'm just gonna make this one up, his name is Zach. And Zach's mom had just passed away, and that's gonna be important in a little bit. And he was not handling it well, and no one would bring it up and make fun of it because we're not heartless people. Like, I'm not actually sitting here hoping that people are dramatically upset at traumatic things going on in their life. That's not my goal, is to make people upset all the time, right? So everybody's just kind of sitting here hanging out, and Charles is still consistently saying that he's gonna drop a diss track and the hottest beats are gonna be slamming out everywhere across the universe. It's gonna be so gnarly. You guys can't wait to see this thing where he's gonna drop some sick bars and show everybody what a real MC is like. All right, dude, it's 1982. We're calling everybody MCs again. I see how it is, whatever. So we start playing him a beat that sounds like clown shoes getting clapped together, and he's like really feeling it. He's moving his head around, really animated, and we're like, oh, Charles, this is gonna be cringe. Please do not do this. Please, for the love of God, do not do it. And he starts rapping. Knows that I like moves. I farted on the track and it smells like booty. It was just not good because it's kind of fruity. Like, that's the type of bars that this kid is trying to pass as the greatest rapper of our generation. Slim Shady, please stand up. I am a god tier rapper situation. But to do none of this unless I'm able to drop some heat flaming one of you. And we're like, look, dude, we just don't want you to do it. Please don't. He's like, nah, you guys laughed. You lost my respect. I'm gonna drop the heat now. And we're like, all right, buddy, fine. I guess you can really drop the heat on us. Wow. No one here wants to hear it, but fine, dude. Since you're clearly not gonna shut up and leave us alone, go ahead, drop your diss track. That's fine. So he looks at Zach and goes, I'm battle rapping you. And we're all like, all right, Zach's kind of going through something. Maybe maybe don't. It's not a good idea, right? Like, just don't go after the kid whose mom just passed away. It's a bad move, and it's just not cool. You just shouldn't do it. Like, come on, the poor kid just lost his mom. He doesn't need to be battle wrapped and flamed to death by Charles, all right? Not that Charles was really good at roasting anybody, but still. You know, like, the kid's upset he's not having a good time lately. The last thing we should do is put him in a situation where he's going to get roasted for 4 minutes. But Charles is insistent. No, I need to drop the heat. I need to drop the heat, yo. I need to drop the heat. And Zach's like, it's fine, whatever. Like, as long as he gets him to shut up and go away, I'll do it. And we're all like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, fine. Well, you know, if he's cool with it, I guess I'm cool with it, of course. So they start rapping, and Charles is trying to flame him, and it's nothing good. It's talking about how he's not a good rapper, and he's poor and all this stuff, and we're all like, all right, well, I mean, A, he's not a rapper. B, he never claimed to be rich. Like, sometimes rappers really throw around insults, you know? It's like coming to me and being like, yeah, Scrubby, you're not good at videos. Yo, I'm like, I never said I was. In fact, most of the time I go, yeah, my videos, I don't know why people watch them, they just do. Like, if you're gonna flame someone, it has to be on something that they can flame. But regardless, Charles is just going in, trying to flame him, and it's just not, it's not working. No one's being like, yo, dang, he really cooked him on that one. Everybody's just kind of like, all right, Charles, you're just annoying. No one wants to hang out with you. You are not being amusing here. And he's just going on and on about how, oh, you're a hoe. Oh, yeah, get roasted, bro. Oh, rice gum on the track. Oh, your shoe line is whack. Yeah, your hair is ugly. And we're just kind of like, And he's kind of realizing that we're not impressed, and he wants to get roasted even more. He wants more flames. He wants more bars. He wants us to be entertained. He wants us to be hyped up. So he looks at Zach and says, your mom might be dead, but don't let that get in your head. And we're all like, what? What did you just say, bro? Did you really just cook this kid's dead mom because of a rap battle to try to get a reaction? And Zach immediately, without hesitation, punches and we were just roasting. And I'm like, no, you're not just roasting. You need to understand, you max brain cell dead moron. You can't flame someone's dead mom, you idiot. Especially like right after it happened. Like, this is 2 weeks after it happened. And so Zach punches him in the face, and Charles is like, yo, bro, you don't want to fight me. I've been on the streets. And starts trying to swing on even more of them. So Charles and Zach are throwing fisticuffs because you flame the kid's dead mom and you're like surprised that there's a bad situation. And then while Charles is trying to swing, he hits another kid that's standing next to them, and it makes absolutely no sense. Like, imagine you're fighting somebody because you made fun of their dead mom, so you swing on somebody else? I don't think so. So now he's getting tag teamed by like 3 kids who are just beating him, and everybody's like, yeah, you deserve this. You made fun of a kid's dead mom. You kind of deserve to get beat up. And he's like, yo, chillax. And we're all like, no, there is no chillaxing. You're an idiot. You're an absolute moron. No one even wanted you to hang out with you. We told you we didn't want you to flame anyone, and you just had to do it anyways. You just didn't think at all. Your thought process was, yeah, better make fun of a kid's dead mom. YOLO. So whatever, the coaches come over and they break it up, and they get sent to the dean's office, and everybody gets suspended because for some reason in school, if you get in a fight, everyone gets suspended. Like, they can't just use logic and go, clearly not everybody here is a guilty party. I'm sorry. If I got suspended for fighting someone who made fun of my dead mom, I would take that suspension with pride. I'd be like, yeah, you bet I got suspended, and I'd do it again. Literally nothing would change. Afterwards, you know, obviously they had to get moved classes because when you fight in our school, you can't really stay in the class with the person you just fought. That's not how it works. That's not how the process goes. They all get suspended. He gets moved out of class and proceeds to tell everyone who wasn't there that he won the fight 3-on-1, which is just not true. There's like videos of it, but whatever. Charles is bragging about how he fought 7 kids at once with one tan behind his back while rapping Slim Shady and doing the Macarena. It was the most insane thing of all time, and everybody just didn't believe him because they knew it wasn't true. And Charles proceeded to get beat up quite a few more times in high school. I have a lot of stories based upon his process and his thing, and him just constantly trying to rap and looking cool. He's a massive goofball. It was not a good situation of all time. But yeah, moral of the story is don't make fun of a kid's dead mom during a rap battle when no one likes you anyways, and you shouldn't have any problem. In fact, just don't make fun of people's dead parents, period. Regardless of the situation. Don't do any of it. None of it is good. None of it is beneficial at all. At all. On that note, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would appreciate you smashing that like button. It helps the video do better. So does a comment. All that stuff really does help the video do better. I've really been killing it on the long story times. I know you guys really like them when they're longer, so I've been doing my best to make them as long as humanly possible to make you guys happy, make you guys smile, make you guys feel as happy as possible, because I do appreciate you guys. I don't say it enough, but without you, my life would be completely different, and I really thank you guys so much for everything you do. I really, really do appreciate you. But on that note, guys, my name is Scrubby. Hopefully I'll see you next time with another video. Don't get anyone pregnant, and if you do, make sure that they're the hottest, most indescribable rapper in the game, the most savage, #1 savages of all time to ever exist. I'm out. Peace. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrubby here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having an absolutely incredible day. I know I am. If you are, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam, a scary man by the name of Jimothy will be breaking into your house tonight and stealing your front teeth. Yeah, that's right. I know Jimothy from way back in prison, you know, but we'll get into those stories eventually when I was, you know, on the yard with Prison Mike and the Dementors. But regardless, Jimothy will be breaking into your house tonight unless you press the like button. Sorry, guys, I don't make the rules. I just follow them. As you guys can tell, today we're going to be talking about the world's craziest food fight. You know, that's why you clicked on the video. And I have to do a little bit of a disclaimer just because Susan and the rest of the Minecraft and YouTube team love to demonetize my videos. I'm not saying you guys should go start a food fight. Let me make that very clear, okay? Just because I had a bunch of fun shoving mustard in people's eyes doesn't mean that you should have fun shoving mustard in people's eyes. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, I felt like I would make that clear. And without further ado, let's hop right into this shiznit. So when I was in high school, I really liked getting in trouble. You know, there's just something about getting in trouble that is more fun than anything else in the world, all right? Like, getting yelled at by a principal for inappropriate behavior might still be up there for one of my favorite things of all time. And not inappropriate like cringy kid sneaking in the bathroom inappropriate, but inappropriate like you knew you shouldn't fill trombones with ketchup, but doing it anyways, you know? Like, that's the type of inappropriate that I really enjoyed. And regardless, I just always found ways to get into trouble when I was in high school. I'm not really sure. I just had a talent for it, you know? Like, I was basically the LeBron James of getting into mischief. And what I'm about to tell you might actually be the highlight of my career, all right? Like, if I am the LeBron James of causing mischief, this is my finals MVP moment. The moment where I actually transcended a normal kid getting in trouble into superstardom, you know? I really just went out and caused the biggest splash I possibly could. And regardless, it is a pretty funny story because it ends up with me on the news, you know? That's what's going on. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into the food fight. So in my junior year of high school, I really thought I was the shiz, you know? Like, I honestly thought I was basically LeBron James. I already said that in this video, but I had just gotten my license and I really thought I was dope. And by being dope, I thought that, you know, skipping school and going out and hanging out with my friends was actually the coolest thing I could ever do. Who needs an education when you can drive a car? You know what I mean? And most of the time I would skip school by just going to my friend's school for lunch, you know? The girl I was dating at the time went to school with a bunch of my best friends. My best friends went to the school and I had a car, so I could honestly yeet on out whenever. My doorbell just rang. My pizza's here. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back with pizza. I forgot where I was. Let me listen back real quick. Okay, anyways, as I was saying, you know, I used to flip on over for lunch and be like, hey, what's up? I'm up in the cut. I don't go here, but I'm gonna eat here. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you gotta break bread with new people just to get new experiences. Regardless, I'm at my friend's school for lunch basically every single day, and I blended in because they went to a school full of tall white kids, and I am, in fact, a tall white kid. So, you know, so I just blended in the background. I had that invisibility cloak like in Harry Potter. You know, I drank the potion that turns you into somebody new. But regardless, I'm really pulling up and blending in like an expert every day at my friend's school, just doing the absolute most to stay inaccessible from teachers, dog. And they're trying, you know, they're on the hunt for me. Realistically, they weren't on the hunt for me because I blended in. That was the entire point. But you guys get the idea. I'm at my friend's school for lunch every single day. And, you know, one day I'm sitting at lunch trying to avoid getting in trouble, and my friend does the unthinkable. He dares me to do something, and then afterwards says, and I quote, no balls. And, you know, I don't know if you guys are savages like I am, but when someone tells me no balls, I won't do something, I have a sudden urge to do it. Like, honestly, if somebody was like, hey, rob that bank, no balls. All right, man, give me a ski mask. I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm not actually gonna rob a bank if you say no balls, but like, you guys get the idea. You know, especially in high school, if somebody said no balls to something, I was like, all right, well, now I just have to do it. It's the law of the land. Every girl watching this video has no idea what I'm saying. No ballsing is basically when your friends imply that you are not a man because you refuse to do a task, you know? And when you're an insecure teenager, it very much works. So, whatever, my friend no-balls me and I look him in the eyes and I say, have you ever known me to back down from a challenge, Jeremy? In reality, he no-balls me to do the following. But anyways, my friend no-balls me to yeet some food across the lunchroom. He says, Ryan, you won't throw the food across the lunchroom, though. And I'm like, dude, I don't even go here. Like, even if I get in trouble, what, they're gonna suspend me from a school I don't go to? Whatever. And this man was actually eating a ham sandwich at the time, and he's putting it up to his mouth to take another bite, and I grab it out of his hands, and I say, and I quote, hello, this is empty. yeet. And I throw that ham sandwich halfway across the lunchroom. That thing goes flying. I'm pretty sure if they weigh the same amount as a ham sandwich, I throw them into orbit. You don't even have to have rockets anymore. So obviously I send this ham sandwich straight into orbit. I'm watching it fly away and my friend's like, oh, you actually did it, dude. That's insane. Oh, you sent it. Anyways, I sent this ham sandwich into orbit and it smacks a kid into the back of the head. And I hear the ham sandwich make like a thud sound on the back of this kid's noggin and I'm like, huh. Well, you know what? That probably hurt because I don't know about you, but if I got hit in the back of the head with a ham sandwich, I would not be too pleased with the fact that I was now covered in what was once a pig. I would be a very unhappy fellow. So obviously, after smacking this kid in the back of the head with a ham sandwich, he turns around and is like looking for who threw it. But of course, me, Sly Cooper, Scrubby, the savage I am, I duck that look back and we just act like nothing's going on. And it looks like we're laughing at a joke because obviously we're entertained with the fact that I smacked a kid in the back of the head with a ham sandwich, but he has no idea where it came from, you know? Like, you know when you're being stealthy in a game and you throw a rock and the guards go to look at the rock and you just yeet on by them? That's basically what it was like. So I'm feeling like a stealth ninja who got away with throwing a ham sandwich, but this kid was looking for revenge. And I see him kind of looking around still trying to look for it, and then I realize he has food in his hands, and he's probably gonna throw it back once he finds out who threw the food at him. And the table next to us, I guess, was staring at him and laughing, so he thought that they did it. So he picks up some food and he throws it at that table, right? The only problem is this guy is not, you know, accurate like I am throwing ham sandwiches into orbit. Instead, he's throwing like Helen Keller, you know, Ray Charles, somebody who's blind, because he misses the table he's aiming at and it goes sailing over the top and lands on this girl's table. So keep in mind, I threw this ham sandwich maybe 30 seconds ago, and now 4 tables have been smacked with food in this lunchroom. Like, I don't know if you see those odds, but it's multiplying and getting out of control very quickly. In the next 30 seconds, that's mean there'll be 8 tables, and then 16, and next thing you know, every table in America is throwing food at each other, and I'm not trying to interrupt everybody's Thanksgiving dinner. So, I'm kind of laying low, and me and my friends are laughing hysterically now because, obviously, I never intended to start World War III with a ham sandwich, but apparently that's what's going on, and I'm pretty sure Trump said he was going to draft everybody for this next food war because North Korea was pulling up on the DMZ with grapes in hand. So at this point, the entire cafeteria is erupting. Everyone's throwing food, and the girls hit the deck to try to avoid it. And you know, like at one point, there's backpacks flying through the air. There's chairs. Like, I don't understand when people hear food fight, they go, better throw a plastic chair across the room. But that's what people are doing. So obviously, it starts to get out of control really quick. There's food flying everywhere. There's liquid flying everywhere. Chairs, backpacks, binders, basically everything you can imagine starts flying around. And the girls, not wanting to get their clothes dirty, start trying to make a break for the outside, so they open all the double doors on the gymnasium, right? The only problem is, when they start leaving, the food fight starts to follow them outside. So, like, now half the lunchroom is in the courtyard, and everybody else is filing out the doors, except now we're starting to run out of food. So people are starting to throw just, like, anything they have in their hands. Like I said, backpacks. One girl got hit in the head with a binder and got a concussion. Like, people are starting to get out of hand very, very quickly. And it's crazy how much something that was fun 30 seconds ago starts to be terrifying, because, you know, a minute ago I threw a ham sandwich, and now people are throwing binders across the world and starting to just smack people upside the top of the head. And obviously the teachers are trying to calm it down, but you try to calm down 500 kids that are throwing chairs, trash cans, and everything you've ever seen. At one point, I'm pretty sure a child got thrown, alright? I don't know where the child came from, maybe it was a teen mom or something, but there was a baby flying through the air. And the teachers are trying to like, kids, please stop. But like I said, you try to stop 500 kids just throwing everything within sight, it's never gonna happen. However, the principal, for some reason, thought that they were gonna be able to calm it down. They were gonna really try to calm down these kids because everybody really, really respects principals for some reason. That's sarcasm. So whatever, the principal gets into the middle of the crowd and she starts screaming something about, now you kids behave or whatever. And around the middle of the courtyard is like a second level, like a balcony level. And all around the school are these big gray trash cans. I'm pretty sure like every school has the same trash cans, you know? School is trash, so therefore they have the same trash cans. I'm pretty sure that's the motto. And regardless, everybody knows the big gray trash cans that I'm talking about. You know, the ones that are like waist high. And I don't know who decided to yeet one of these over the edge, but the principal is, of course, in the middle of the crowd screaming, calm down, break it up, stop. And it's not doing a lot. And somebody from the second floor decides, I'm gonna throw this trash can into the crowd. And I'm sure their thought wasn't, I'm gonna hit the principal, but obviously, you know, the principal's standing in the middle of this giant crowd. It's pretty obvious where she is. And the next thing you see is almost in slow motion, this giant gray trash can come flying out of the sky, almost like something out of a horror movie, you know, where you know the jump scare is coming, but there's nothing you can do, and I have to watch in horror as this principal is mightily and quickly RKO'd by the John Cena trash can, all right? I'm calling it the John Cena trash can because she did not see it coming, okay? She gets smacked with Oscar the Grouch's relocation home upside the head so hard that she just goes flying over, like falls over on her butt. So at this point, me and my friends realize, oh my god, we started a food fight that just got the principal smited down from almighty Thor with the trash can. This is not gonna end well. Like, this is a 0 out of 10 situation. And keep in mind, I don't even go here. So if I get caught starting the food fight, not only am I getting in trouble for starting the food fight that just got a principal yeeted with a trash can, but I'm also in trouble for ditching school constantly. Like, that's just a no bueno. So I hightail to the parking lot. I escape with my life intact before anyone can do any investigative work, okay? Before any crack people crack the case, and I zip on out of there as fast as humanly possible, right? And obviously, you know, them being them, they started investigating almost immediately who caused this food fight. Because now it's not personal, you know, it's not a mess, it's not just rough for the custodian, but somebody decided to yeet a fine with it and just be like, accidents happen. No, they were very, very upset that the principal was in fact smited by Thor himself with a giant trash can. They were not big fans of that. So regardless, I get back to my school. There's a mustard stain on the bottom left-hand side of my shirt, but I'm doing my best to act like it's not there, you know? Maybe I dropped something on my my shirt at lunch. So I go home that night, and my mom's like, hey, where'd this stain come from? So I tell her the same story. I dropped it at lunch, and she's like, oh, okay, no big deal. And that night, me and my family are watching TV together while we're eating dinner, and my mom turned on the news. Like, I don't really know why we were watching the news, but my mom, for some reason, decided to turn on the news. And we're sitting there, and sure enough, my friend's high school comes up on the news, and my mom's like, oh, what's this story about? So she turns up the volume, and the news anchor basically says, a girl at the school during a food fight was hit in the head with a binder and got a concussion. And my mom's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that kids would be so irresponsible to start a food fight. That's something you're only supposed to see in the movies. I would be so embarrassed if you ever did that, Ryan. Like, I cannot believe that somebody, especially at that school, because it's such a reputable area, I would be so embarrassed. And I'm like, yeah, Mom, whoever started that food fight sure is a dummy. You should never start a food fight ever, Mom. That's just a big no-no. Just totally trying to lean into the fact that I didn't do it. And honestly, I never got caught because I guess the people at the other school were looking for a tall kid with brown hair, which just happens to be half of the population of the school. So it's probably really difficult to go find somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure it's not too great. So whatever, I got away with it. I ended up starting a food fight that got a principal yeeted with a trash can and was honestly probably the craziest food fight to ever exist in the United States of America. But on that note, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would really, really appreciate you guys pressing the like button, commenting down below, and also, you ready for it? Pressing the subscribe button and turning on notifications. Today's notification shout out goes to the one, the only, Dean Vega 76. Big shout out to you. If you want a notification shout out, all you got to do is press the notification bell, screenshot it, and send it to my Instagram at Scrubby. And yeah, I shout somebody out every day. But on that note, guys, I hope you guys have an incredible one. Don't get anyone pregnant. And if you do, make sure they don't start food fights. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. I'm out. Peace. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrubby here, back again with another video. Feeling fresh and lackadaisical as always. Hope y'all are having a beautiful day. If you are, be sure to press that like button. Let me know what's going on. What'd you have for lunch? Leave what you had for lunch in the comments down below. You know, I'm feeling curious. As you can tell, I'm a little bit hungry as I'm recording this. Today we're gonna be talking about the time a kid in my class wanted to fight the teacher. You know, not that big of a deal. Just throwing fisticuffs with Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus. The usual. It's a pretty funny story. So buckle your seatbelt, get ready for a wild ride, and yeah, let's get into this, guys. So when I was a freshman in high school, I had this teacher named, I'm gonna change his name for the purpose of the video, but I'm gonna name him Mr. Ballista. Mr. Ballista, you know, an old school Call of Duty sniper rifle. That's what he was named after, you know? And Mr. Ballista was a pretty hard guy. He was near retirement. I'm pretty sure he was a veteran of like every single war ever, you know? He was a really old dude, and it was his last few years teaching, which meant he really didn't care, because as a teacher, your retirement's pretty secure, and you can pretty much do whatever you want once you have tenure, and especially since you're gonna retire in a year or two, the school won't really fire you or do anything. So he just had the ability to not care about anything. Like, if you were sassy to him, if you were rude to him, he didn't care, because what did he have to lose? Absolutely nothing. Nothing was going to happen. And he made that very clear on the first day of school when somebody was on their phone and he just took their phone, threw it across the room, and told them to go get it. I mean, at least to me, somebody who usually does goof around, it was pretty obvious that this guy did not care and would do absolutely anything to keep his classroom under control. So it was better to just stay out of his way, all right? You know, it's like jumping in front of a freight train. Yeah, you can, but the freight train is still going to run you over and you're going to look like a pancake, so maybe just don't do it. At least that's how I saw it. But I guess some people saw it as a challenge, you know, to like try to challenge the old dude who clearly had no reason to be nice to you, which to me is just dumb. But whatever, kids thought it was really cool to try to get under his skin and see how big of a reaction they could get. And as I mentioned, he didn't care. But in my class, we had a lot of bad actors that really just enjoyed being in trouble for some reason. I don't know about you, but I hated being in trouble in school, okay? I was in trouble a lot because I'm just a bad kid, or I was a bad kid, but I hated being in trouble at school because it was so awkward. You had to go sit in the cold office. Your nipples would be hard enough to cut diamonds because it's so cold in there. Not fun. Not a fun experience. But I guess some kids were weirdly into it. And one of these kids, who I'm going to call Hokage, because he is the next Hokage, he was a weeaboo, that's all you need to know, decided that it was his mission in life to try to get Mr. Ballista to freak out and have a panic attack and just absolutely go off on him. Why that was his goal, I have no idea, but that was the plan. He was talking every day about how he had a new way to make him mad and all this stuff, and he was a bad guy. Just to clarify, me and Mr. Hokage, or the kid Hokage, did not get along. I really did not like this kid, mainly because he was just a bad person. And not a bad person in the, oh, you're a teenager and you make mistakes kind of way, but in the type of way where you just knew this kid was gonna end up in prison 3 years after high school. This kid was constantly just stealing things and getting in fights and like biting people, you know, when a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, I don't know how old he is, I don't really care, is biting people, you probably got some messed up issues. Yeah, and this kid was one of those people. So whenever he was flexing about the fact that he was going to make the teacher mad at him, I would just kind of roll my eyes and be like, yeah, I would be mad too. I mean, your parents are disappointed in you. I don't know why a teacher wouldn't be either. But whatever, this was Hokage's new life mission to piss off Mr. Ballista and make him freak out. So in order to do this, Hokage starts digging into Mr. Ballista's personal life. And this is just a no-no. Never dig into somebody's personal life, okay? It's personal for a reason. You don't need to know your teacher's favorite flavor of coffee in order to understand that they're teaching you history, all right? It's just not necessary. But whatever, he just was really into learning everything he could about Mr. Ballista in order to get under his skin better. And something he found out was that Mr. Ballista's wife had cancer. And listen, I got along pretty well with Mr. Ballista. I really appreciate people who are straight up and honest and strict, and he was really forward about the rules. He was really honest about what you could do to stay out of trouble, so I had no problem staying out of trouble in his class. But Hokage just wouldn't listen, and when he found out that his wife had cancer, he proceeded to tell the entire class about it. Which is just not cool. You don't need to do that. Like, clearly Mr. Ballista is struggling with some issues over here, and you broadcasting it to the class with a megaphone being like, by the way, his wife has cancer, just makes you look like a horrible person. So of course, Mr. Ballista gets mad at this and basically tells him to go to the dean's office and reports him to the dean and goes, look, he's telling kids in my class that my wife has cancer. I don't need to deal with this. I come to school to not have to think about it, and now everyone's talking about it. Everyone's being nice to me. He's like, I don't want pity. I don't want sympathy. I just want to teach my class. I don't want this kid going around telling people my personal business. I just don't. That's not what I want. Fair enough, Mr. Ballista. I don't blame you, man. Hokage is a bit of a tool for leaking the fact that your wife has cancer to the class. So the next few weeks go pretty normally. Everything kind of calms down. You can tell Mr. Ballista has a strong hatred for Hokage. But not much he can really do. The school has denied his request to get him moved out of the class, which is just dumb. If you have a kid basically doxing the teacher and leaking personal information, it's probably a good idea to just put them in a new class and make sure they don't get along. And, you know, especially with a teacher like Mr. Ballista who does not care and has nothing to lose at this point, it's a really good idea to make sure that these two people stay apart. And then, the moment you've all been waiting for. One day, we're sitting in class. I don't remember what we're learning about, but I guess Hokage just wasn't having it. And he goes, when are we going to use this in real life? Which was just, I get the question, I understand the premise, but the way he said it is what was rude. And Mr. Ballista goes, well, to be honest, you'll probably never use it in your life because you're going to end up working at McDonald's. Which is pretty savage and true. I don't know where Hokage is, probably in prison or at a McDonald's, one of the two. And I guess this really set Hokage off because the entire class laughed. Because how are you not going to laugh at a teacher just roasting this kid who's clearly not a good person in front of everybody? It's just a funny experience to watch, right? And I guess this set Hokage off in a way that he had never been set off before, because he looks Mr. Ballista in the eye and says, well, at least my wife doesn't have cancer. And I do not understand how you can say that to another human being. Like, imagine finding out that somebody's wife has a disease that kills millions of people every year, and then using it in an argument when he says you're gonna work at McDonald's. You're gonna work at McDonald's. Yeah, well, at least my mom's not in a wheelchair. Like, that's the level of terrible person we are reaching here. You just shouldn't be able to say that to another human being unless you're actually a sociopath like a Shane Dawson documentary, right? And the entire class just opens their jaws, and it's just silent. You know the type of silence where you can cut the silence with a knife because it's so thick and everybody is just sitting there like, oh my God, he actually just said that. I cannot believe that these words actually came out of another human being's mouth. Yeah, that's the reaction that all of us had, because we just witnessed Mr. Potato Head, Hokage over here, tell a kid's skull. Ballista furrows his brow and goes, what did you just say? And he goes, at least my wife doesn't have cancer. And at this moment, I'm getting ready to have to hold back Mr. Ballista because I'd want to kill this kid if I was in his position. And he looks at him and he goes, son, you are by far the most disrespectful degenerate I have ever had in my classroom, and I feel bad for the fact that the only way you're ever going to see anyone who loves you is behind prison bars. And turns back around. I don't know how the stoic Mr. Ballista handled this situation like a god, but here we are, no fisticuffs being thrown, and he just blasted the kid even harder. You know when, like, you're trying to make someone mad, and you're trying to, you know, get under their skin, and they kind of hit you with the, sorry, you're kind of pathetic, I'm not gonna fall for it, and your ego's just crushed? That's the situation we have here, except Hokage isn't going to take no for an answer because now he looks like an absolute jerk for no reason in front of the entire class, and he can't have that. So he goes, oh yeah, you old man, you won't fight me, blah, 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 blah. And Mr. Ballista goes, you're right, I'm not going to fight you because you're pathetic. You're a pathetic child. You're a pathetic child, and I'm sorry that your parents don't give you enough attention at home. And the entire class at this point is like, oh my God, he's actually flaming this kid. Like, imagine you're trying to be a savage, getting a guy to fight you, making fun of his wife having cancer, and all he's doing is calling you pathetic. That's gotta hurt the ego, folks. This is what's gonna annoy this kid. And plus, Hokage is one of these kids that thrives off attention. So the fact that he's getting none of it, all he's getting is roasted and being made fun of in front of everybody, is just driving him up the wall. So he gets up in Mr. Ballista's face and goes, yeah, well, give me one reason I shouldn't knock you out right now. And Mr. Ballista goes, because you can't. And he pulls back to hit the teacher. And at this point, like, 5 guys are getting up to go pull and he swings at the teacher. Mr. Ballista somehow moves out of the way of the punch and goes, and you just got yourself expelled, buddy. And everybody like grabs Hokage, pulls him out of the class towards the office. We get him in the dean's office, tell him everything that happened. They actually call the school police because it was technically like assault. I don't understand what happened there because he didn't hit him, but the school police get involved. They're basically like taking this kid to juvie for trying to assault a teacher. And Mr. Ballista, during this whole situation, cool as a cucumber. You could tell the cancer comments did bother him, but I mean, who wouldn't be bothered by that? Like, what a terrible kid for making fun of that. So, yeah, Hokage got expelled for trying to assault a teacher, and I really hope he's in prison somewhere, because anybody willing to make fun of a wife having cancer isn't a really good person. Just throwing that out there. Definitely not the best type. You know, whatever. I'm not saying you can never make a cancer joke, because sometimes they can be pretty funny, but you don't look someone in the eyes whose wife has cancer and make fun of the fact that their wife has cancer. That's how you know you're just an absolutely terrible human being. And I really am glad he got expelled. Karma did its job. That's the key here. I'm really thankful that Karma came in, punched this kid in the throat, and I gave him what he just deserved. You know, it was just desserts. On that note, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to press the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought. If you liked the video, if you didn't like the video, I'd love to hear what you think. I know this was a pretty long story. I just remember it really, really vividly because it's one of the worst things I think I've ever seen a human being do to another human being. So it's just kind of lodged in my memory like a pitchfork lodged into the side of the frontal lobe of an Amish boy in a farming accident. And yeah, on that note, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Follow me on Twitter at ScrubbyVivo, Instagram at Scrubby_YT. Buy some merch if you haven't already because that's pretty cool. And remember, don't get anyone pregnant. And if you do, make sure they're hot. One more thing, by the way. I was just really close to 10 minutes, to be honest.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having an absolutely fantastic day. I know I am, and if you are, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. You'll be strapped to the top of a semi-truck and be forced to eat every bug that flies in your general direction. Trust me, it's pretty gross. I wouldn't want to do it, so press the like button. Hope you guys are having a good day. Like I said, my name is Scrubby, and as you can tell from the title and thumbnail, today I've got quite the tale for you, lads. So buckle your seatbelts and get ready for an entertaining, fun ride. Without further ado, let's get into it. Anyways, guys, as I've said a couple times in a different few videos, I used to skate a ton when I was like in middle school / early high school. Me and all my friends would basically like go around and just skate a bunch of spots as much as we could because it was a ton of fun. The only problem with street skating though is that like a lot of people don't really like you being there. Skaters don't have a very good reputation, and sometimes, you know, we kind of deserve it. I'm not gonna lie, not all of us are pretty chill, but most of us really aren't trying to cause trouble. We're just trying to skate. And there was this park near one of my friends' houses that had this really, really sweet, like, 4-stair that was perfect for skating. It was literally the perfect run-up, the perfect run-off. It was fantastic. And when I was in 8th grade, so like 13, 14 years old, we would go there relatively often, you know, like, actually, this experience that I'm going to tell a story about is why I kind of stopped going to parks and skating these types of spots. Like I said, though, there was this park with this perfect 4-stair, and we would go there and skate, and, you know, I was in middle school, so I was, like, super afraid of getting in trouble, so whenever we would go, I would make sure to be on my best behavior. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I wasn't trying to cause problems because, you know, hey, I just didn't want to get in trouble, alright? Like, one thing that I don't really enjoy is getting yelled at personally. I'm not a giant fan of it, alright? But, every now and then you gotta do what you gotta do. So we were pretty respectful whenever we would be there, and for most of the time, parents wouldn't really bug us because we weren't, like, near the playground. The stairs were relatively close to the playground, but it was not that big of a deal, you know? Like, for the most part, parents would leave us alone because we would leave them alone. We weren't swearing around their kids. We were just chilling, just skating at the park, having ourselves a good time. And like I said, I would go with a group of friends that were also skating, and we had one friend in particular who was just nasty on a skateboard, alright? Like, this kid was incredible, and like I said, this 4-stair was pretty perfectly sized. It was a good place to learn tricks that you wanted to throw down stair sets, and he was better than all of us. Like, I got hyped one time because I heel flipped down it, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty good. And, you know, this kid was working on, like, throwing a beautiful laser flip down it, no hesitation, just, like, absolutely gorgeous at skating everything he did. This kid was good, and one day we're sitting there, and he's like, hey, I think I want to 360 it, and we're like, all right, I mean, a 360 down a 4-stair is doable. It's not a ton of time to spin. You have to spin pretty quick, but, like, hey, you could do it. Sure, go for it, bro. So he starts practicing it, and he's not landing it beautifully every time. The first couple times, he's like it's not rocket science, and he's working on it for probably an hour or so, and finally he's getting good at it, and he's starting to get to the point where like he's rolling away but slipping out at the last second, like his back wheel's spinning out. He's really close to landing it though. And we're all starting to get hyped. We're like, yo, bro, you got this, because that's what you do with your friends. When your friend's trying to do something and you hope they succeed, you're like encouraging, you know? Why would I look at my friend trying to do something and be like, yo, Derek, hope you die. LMAO, that would be funny. Anyways, he's getting close, but he goes for it again and his board snaps. Like the back tail part of the board snaps off. And obviously, he's pretty pissed because he was getting close and he was going for it for like an hour. So he does what people do when they're frustrated sometimes, and he screams a word, all right? And this word is a very bad word on this website, okay? Because for some reason, Susan Wojcicki decided that certain words are off limits if any YouTuber wants to get their video into recommended. But I'm just gonna say, all right, he screamed the F word. Oh my gosh, it's really not that big of a deal. I know like 99% of you say it anyways. I just can't say it in videos. He screams the F word. And you know what? Was it slightly inappropriate because there was kids in the park? Sure. But he screams it and immediately just like picks up the broken board and we go to leave. But one of the moms from the playground decides that us leaving, no. See, that's not good enough, because what I see is a mom built like an NFL linebacker charging full speed over to the stairs, and we're all sitting there. Keep in mind, we can't escape very quickly because one of us now doesn't have a skateboard, all right? Like in most scenarios, you see an angry mom running at you, you just put your board down and start running, or like skating away as fast as humanly possible, right? But we're sitting here, and our friend, who also happens to have like sprained his ankle and can't run very fast because he's been throwing himself down a set of stairs for an hour. And much like soldiers, all right, no man left behind. I can't leave my friend back here to 1v1 an angry mom built like a linebacker, bro. I don't know where this woman was doing her yoga, okay? I don't know what was in her morning smoothie, but whatever was in it, I think Olympians need to do it, because this mom running at us was gigantic, okay? And I'm not even trying to make fun of her. She was like scary big. You know when you walk into a room and someone's so big, you're like, oh yeah, if they wanted to, they could probably eat every person in this room. I've been rereading the Percy Jackson books lately, and she reminded me of the Cyclops, how massive this woman is. So she's barreling towards us, and we're like, all right, this is how it ends. This is how we go down. It's gonna be okay, guys, you know? At least we go out together as one, brothers in arms, you know? So she runs over, she's like, which one of you screamed that word? It was probably less witchy than that, but you know, little me has altered the memory in my head to make her sound a lot scarier. So she's like, which one of you said that? And none of us snitch because, you know, as Lil Skies once said, I ain't folding under pressure, I ain't switching for no hoe, I ain't talking to no cops, and I ain't telling all my bros. And you still live by that. I ain't snitching. So we all keep our mouths shut, and she's like, whatever. Well, I guess since all of you don't want to tell me who said it, then I guess I'll just do nothing else but call the police, and they can come figure out which one of you guys is a troublemaker. And we're like, oh no, don't call the police. Could you imagine? 911, what's your emergency? Yes. There are children here. They said a very naughty word, and I need the police immediately. Send the SWAT team. Send the National Guard. Send everyone. I don't even care. In fact, send Mace Windu. Call up Star Wars. Get him out here. I need everything. Anyways, we decide to start walking away and try to ignore her. But the problem is, when a lady is built like a linebacker, getting ignored is not something that they're used to, because they're like, are you guys ignoring me? And what happens next is legendary. So, not legendary, it's kind of scary. So, we're trying to walk away, and she's like, you know, you whatever, angry mom speak. And then she grabs our friend by the hoodie, the one who was trying to do the trick with the broken skateboard, and yanks him to the ground and is like, I bet it was you. You broke your skateboard. You think it's okay to swear when you get hurt? How dare you? Rah, rah, rah. Do you think that it's okay to swear around little kids? I bet you your mom would be so ashamed of you. How dare you decide that it's your right to say those words around kids? And is like pinning him to the ground, bro. We have a sumo wrestler mother pinning this kid to the ground, saying that it's not okay to swear around her kids because, you know, hey, it's not okay to swear around your kids, but apparently manhandling a child that's not yours around your kids, perfectly fine. What are they gonna do? What you gonna do about it? Like, what? I just don't understand her logic. You can't swear around kids, but I'm allowed to attack 8th graders because they said naughty words. That's some real logical thinking. So she's on top of our friend, and we all go over and start trying to push her off, but we can't get her off because she weighs as much as a black hole, dude. Like, I'm usually not one to make fun at her. He misses, but she's it starts getting up. She's like, you guys want to go? You guys want to go? We're like, no, we just want to leave. And she's like, oh, you think you're so tough because you can woman with a skateboard. We're like, we just want to leave. So we try to walk away again, and she comes after us again and is like trying to grab our friend's hood and is like, no, you're waiting till the cops get here. And we're like, let us go. Let us go. We're trying to leave. We are trying to leave. We are like doing our best to get out of your way as much as humanly possible. Please just let us go. And of course, she's just not having it. She's like, oh, you kids are all the same. So disrespectful these days. Why is that every old person's response to any kid that, like, doesn't do exactly what they want them to? Like, any kid that thinks for themselves and doesn't just automatically listen to every adult's word 100% all the time, they're automatically like, you think you're so smart. Well, maybe I am smarter than you. You just attacked a child in a park. I'm just saying, your brain cells probably aren't very big. There, I said it. I wouldn't be surprised if late at night, dude, the lights go out and you go, oh, who turned the sun off? Because you're stupid. You're stupid if you attack children. It's really not rocket science. So, whatever. This lady's going ballistic, and we're trying to get away. And at this point, there's starting to be a crowd around us because it's not every day you see gargantuan Jabba the Hutt women trying to fight like a gang of kids, dude. It felt like, you ever seen a bunch of hyenas trying to eat a hippo, bro? Like, that's how it felt. So, whatever. Everyone's, like, kind of watching. And finally, you know, I think she kind of snaps out of it. Like, maybe she's on steroids or something. Her anger stops, and she kind of looks around and latched onto an 8th grader, not letting him go as we are all screaming, we're trying to leave. And she lets go, and that's enough. He breaks free, like, of her holding onto his hood, and we just bolt. He left his broken skateboard there, dude, trucks and all. He did not care. He's like, you know what? I'll just get a new one, because he was not going to spend any more time there. We take off running as fast as we can. This dude is running on, like, a rolled ankle. I don't know if it was sprained or rolled. His ankle hurts, and we just took off. So we get around the corner and we're like, oh my God, what was that? And we're just all sitting there and like breathing really heavy because we just escaped Jabba the Hutt's clutches, you know? And the kid who got attacked is like, why did she want to fight me so bad? Like, she kept challenging him to fight while she had him on the ground by the hood. She's like, why don't you get up and fight me like a man? He's like, I'm not a man. I'm 13. I'm a child. I don't know what you want me to do. I'm not fighting you like a man because I'm not. I don't like what it. 13-year-olds are not men, by the way. Before anyone in the comments was like, whoa, when you're 13, bro, like your puberty started. When I was 13, I was like 5'2" and chubby, all right? I was not in the shape to be fighting Jabba the Hutt linebacker women who thought that the F word was the naughtiest thing to ever be said. Yeah. Moral of the story is, sometimes women really do be crazy, and men do be too. That's really all there is to it. There's not really a good moral to this. Don't get attacked by crazy people at a park, I guess. And yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was an entertaining story. I survived. We all got matching t-shirts that says I survived the Wookiee attack, you know, after the fact, because we were just all so proud of ourselves. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully, you guys enjoy. If you did, be sure to press the like button. Turn on notifications, too. I give a notification shout-out every day to somebody who sends me proof of their notifications being on Instagram. So, today's notification shout-out goes to BrodyC42. Big shout-out to you for having on notifications, man. I've been responding to more DMs on Instagram, too, so you guys should go follow me on there. And, yeah, if you really enjoyed the channel and you, like, want to support it a ton, there is merch. You guys should check it out. Teespring link will be down below. It's pretty dope if I do get to say so myself. But on that note, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, as always, make sure they're hot. My name is Scrubby. Hopefully, I'll see you guys next time with another video. I am getting over the flu, but the only downside is now I have an ear infection because my body hates me. So, yeah, wish me luck, and I'll see you guys next time. I am out. 3, 2, 1, peace.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having an absolutely incredible day. I know I am. If you are, be sure to press the like button for good luck, because good luck is good. Today we're going to be talking about a weird kid, alright? This might be a little bit of a series if you guys are into the first little time, but it's basically this kid that I went to high school with who ended up getting arrested for stalking, and I was talking to the girl that he was actually super into, and this kid is super weird. We're going to start with the first story all right, which does not involve him getting arrested, sadly. But this kid had been weird for a while, and I think you guys are going to be entertained, because for some reason, hearing about weird kid makes all of you guys go, ha ha, hee hee, like button, likey, like, and I like likes, you know? So without further ado, let's get it. Now, for some reason, I had a concentration of kids at my school who were the bizarre type. There was a group of kids that thought they were werewolves. No, I'm not kidding. I've told stories about them in the past, and this kid happened to be one of the werewolf kids. I don't really know what's going through your head to be actually 16 years old and convince yourself that you're a werewolf, but that's a pretty big gap in intelligence, okay? By the time you're 8, you should give up on your dreams of being a werewolf, you know? Like, you know? I don't turn into a giant man beast every full moon. Maybe I should think about why that is. And the answer is because you're not a werewolf, Derek, all right? Grow up and take off the Batman cape. You're never going to become Batwolf. That would be a really sick superhero. But regardless, there were a group of kids at my school that thought they were werewolves, and they had this idea that they were a pack, right? And once you were binded with the pack, you were binded for life, which is super cringe because the odds of you being binded with a bunch of kids who think they're werewolves in high school for the rest of your life is pretty slim. You know, in the grand scheme of things, let's be honest here. Nobody is like, you know what friends I want to have for the rest of my life? My friends that think they are werewolves. Yes, those are the ones that I will love until I die. But there was this girl who was in the wolf pack when she was a freshman, right? And they had this ritual where you had to like gather around them and they would all howl together, and that would mean you were a part of the group. And once you were a part of the group, you could never I'm sorry, I'm just picturing a bunch of chubby white kids in Hot Topic clothing howling at each other for a lifetime bond. Whatever, kids are whack. Anyways, and she was in this group, and there was another kid in the group pack who I'm gonna name Clarence, because Clarence is a funny name. And Clarence, you know, Clarence was a little bit of a bizarre dude, and he had a giant crush on this girl who was in the wolf pack, so much so that during the ceremony, he tried to make up a rule that she had to kiss one of the wolves, and everyone else was like, no. And I've talked to the girl about this. The reason I know this is because she's not a werewolf anymore, you know? She kind of grew out of that. So basically, this kid named Clarence had a ginormous crush on her, right? And he was really weird. I don't think he knew how to show people that he had a crush on anyone, because this girl was telling me that when she was in the wolf pack and they would hang out all this stuff, obviously there were couples, there would be wolf people. That's how life would work sometimes, you know? Apparently, occasionally, you just gotta be with your wolf pack and squat up. But this guy would take the whole wolf thing a little bit too far. Like, he had a crush on this girl, right? And instead of just being like, hey, do you want to go on a wolf date where we'll chase tennis balls and double dab in the park and pee on fire hydrants? So he has a crush on this girl, right? And his idea of showing affection, his idea of being like, hey baby, I'm into you, isn't anything normal. No. What he does, and this is not a joke, he goes and got roadkill off the side of the road, took it to her house, and had it in his mouth and said, I caught this for you. And obviously, the werewolf thing is weird. Don't get me wrong. The werewolf thing is super cringe. But even the girl at that point, who was a part of the group, is like, that's really weird. Like, let me get this straight. You have a crush on a girl, right? You're sitting there, yo, this girl's a cutie dog. I can't get her out of my mind. I think about her all the time. I really want to make her mine. I'm ready for that next level of commitment where we'll be in a relationship and howl at the moon together. What should I give her? You know, what do girls like? Flowers, you know, they like chocolate, they like gifts, you know, jewelry is always a good one. Man, maybe I should go find a dead animal and put it in my mouth and carry it to her. Like, bruh, how do you even come up with that? I'm sorry, I don't care if you're in a wolf pack or not. No girl wants a dead animal dropped off their porch. What are you, a cat with a bird? Like, I'm sorry, Tom and Jerry, you might need to cool your jets a little bit. So obviously this guy is super weird, right? And this is where I come into the story. This is how I ended up getting involved. So anyways, this weird kid Clarence is obviously really obsessed with this girl. He's dropping off dead animals on her porch, which is just the ultimate sign of commitment. You know, everybody knows if you get a dead animal on your porch, you're set for life, man. That's basically an engagement ring in the animal kingdom. Everybody knows that. So the girl, though, sat next to me in one of her classes. And I knew she was kind of one of the weird wolf girls, but she seemed relatively normal. Like, we got along okay. We weren't flirty. I wouldn't even say we were friends. We just kind of, like, sat next to each other. It was no big deal. No skin off our back, right? And apparently Werewolf Boy thinks that I'm moving in on his woman, all right? He's like, listen, I've dropped a dead animal off on her porch. You're not allowed to look at her, think about her, exist with her. You're not even allowed to have classes with her. Because basically, I was walking through the hallways one day, right? right? And I'm just walking. I'm literally minding my own business. I'm keeping to myself. I ain't got no beef with Werewolf Boy at all. Who cares? Like, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to square up with a Werewolf Boy in the middle of the hallway, and I hear growling from my left, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. Is there a dog in the hall? And I look to the left, and there's this kid wearing a dog collar giving me a dirty look. And so I kind of laugh a little bit, because what am I supposed to do in that situation? You tell me you wouldn't giggle if some teenager in a dog collar is sitting there barking at you like, I'm sorry, I just can't take it seriously. Even thinking about it now, if anyone growled at me now, I would be nothing but lol the entire time. How in the world would I ever deal with it at all? So he growls at me, and I'm like, what, you good, bro? You good? And he's like, why are you encroaching on my mate? Pause, dog. First of all, I don't know who your mate is. Second of all, your mate? Wait, are we in biology class? Am I learning about canines? Like, wait, bruh, no girl wants to be called your mate. I'm sorry. If you're dating a girl out there and you texted her right now, we're mates, I guarantee you she'd go, I'm not a big fan of this at all. Like, 0% a fan of this at all. And don't test that, all right? Actually, you know what? If you have a girlfriend that you're confident wouldn't break up with you, test it. Call her your mate. See what she says. She's not going to like it. So, regardless, I'm kind of like, bro, what are you talking about? And he's like, I've seen you sitting too close to my female, and I don't like it. And I'm like, what female are you talking about? Now, let me give you guys a little hint. If you think a guy's hitting on your girl, and he doesn't even know what girl you're talking about, chances are he's not hitting on your girl. So he tells me your name, and I'm like, dude, listen, I was not hitting on your girl at all, Werewolf Boy, all right? Like, we sit next to each other, that's it. He goes, well, why do you sit next to her? Because the teacher made me sit there? Like, wait, sorry that I don't have in control of the seating chart, man. Like, I'm really sorry. And he's like, well, you need to figure something out. Yes, because I, in my infinite power, control the seating chart for my class and can move my seat. So, whatever. He's like, this is your warning, and walks away. Okay. So, after he walks away, the girl walks up to me. She goes, I'm really sorry about that. He's not even my boyfriend. Like, I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. He's just kind of whack. And is he wearing a dog collar? And she's like, yeah. Whatever. The pack had a name. I'm not going to say it because you'll be able to tell what school I went to. But basically, he's like, our pack does it. I'm like, oh, all right. That's kind of weird. But like, whatever. I mean, you do you. Just make sure he knows that I'm not into it like that. Like, I'm really not into it like that. But whatever, homeboy really wants to be a wolf. So I'm kind of like, this is awkward and weird, but I'll keep moving on. And Clarence the wolf decides that, you know, that's not good enough. So the next day I'm sitting in class, and he walks into class and walks us to the teacher and hands her a note. And the teacher looks at him and goes, who's this from? And he goes, me. And the teacher just says, get out. And like, it's no big deal. I don't think anything of it. He's weird. He gives me a dirty look, but like, all right, wolf boy, you do your thing, right? So after class, my teacher kind of says, hey, come here. And I'm like, yeah, is everything okay? He's like, so this kid gave me a note basically saying that I had to move your seat. Do you guys have any issues or anything? So I tell my teacher kind of like, you know, basically this kid's weird. He's dating someone. Like, he's kind of weird. He's kind of whack. He's kind of a weird person. So now Wolf Boy is kind of encroaching on my personal turf. So this guy's kind of causing issues, and the girl I sit next to feels super embarrassed about it because she doesn't want to cause issues. Like, I don't even know how she got into the wolf pack in the first place, but she was pretty normal. Like, she was pretty cool, I guess. So she makes the decision to leave the wolf pack, right? Which is a big no-no. Like, in their group, they're like, you are in for life. You have become a wolf member, and you shall be a wolf member till your death. And then they, like, I don't know, headbang to some screamo music. I don't really know what werewolves do in their spare time. Do they chase tennis balls? What are werewolves into? These are things that I need to know. So she decides that she's gonna try to leave, and the guy takes it as me making her leave, like as if somehow I've kidnapped her and told her to leave the werewolf thing. Maybe she's just not into werewolves, bro. You ever think about that? Maybe humans, like actual human beings, aren't into the idea of being werewolves. Isn't that wild? So she decides that she's gonna leave the wolf pack, and the guy kind of presses me about it after class one day. I'm walking out, and he's like, why are you making my mate leave the wolf pack? And I look at him, and I'm like, bro, I'm not into your girl. I don't know what's going on between you two. I'm not sure. All I know is what she told me, and she told me that she's not into you. And even then, I'm not into her. So I don't know who you've got beef with, but it's not gonna be me. Like, it's not gonna be me. I'm sorry, but I have nothing to do with it. And after that point, I don't know if she talked to him or what, but I think he kind of got the hint that I wasn't involved. But sadly, the story doesn't end there, because I still sat next to this girl for the rest of the year. And as there was drama going on with Werewolf Boy, I would kind of get updates as she would tell me how absolutely insane this kid is. So I guess when she left the wolf pack, they were pissed, and they ended up egging her house, but she knew they were going to do something, and in the grand scheme of things, egging isn't going to be that big of a deal. But Werewolf Boy, and this is confirmed from the rest of the pack that still talked to her, decided that he was going to drop a fat deuce on her lawn while they were egging her house. Like, he took it from a 10 to an 11. They were like, let's throw eggs at her house, and he said, let me poop on her lawn, and then actually did it. I'm convinced the homeboy just really actually thought he was a dog for some reason, like peeing on fire hydrants, all that jazz. So after pooping on her lawn, I guess he also decided that one dead animal wasn't enough, and she woke up to another one on her porch. So she texted him and basically said, hey, leave me alone. I'm not a werewolf anymore. Not that you ever were in the first place, you weirdo. And if you could stop leaving, you know, dead animals on my porch, I'd greatly appreciate it. And I guess he took this as a badge of pride, because his response was to send a video of him snarling into the camera. She showed me it, and the kid is literally like, you've challenged my pride. The wolf pack will destroy you. Like, he literally sounded like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles villain from the late 90s cartoons. So this kid is very obviously mentally unhinged. And the next day at school, I was just talking to her in the hallway. We were walking to our next class together, and out of nowhere, Werewolf Boy comes out the cut really looking like, I don't know, some weird werewolf boy. He looks weird. He's wearing a dog collar, all right? I don't know how else to insult him. He did it to himself. There's no need to come up with an insult for somebody wearing a dog collar. Like, they're wearing the insult. What am I supposed to do? He looked like he was a dork. Why? Well, I mean, he was wearing a dog collar. There's really not much else weird about him. I guess he was a little chubby, but that's life, you know. I'm not going to judge somebody for that. You do what you got to do. No pressure. So, regardless, he's just a weirdo who's apparently challenging the Wolfpack pride. So, we're chilling walking to class, and out of nowhere, Snarling Boy pulls up to us and starts pressing her. He's not pressing me. He's not like, I want to challenge you to combat. He basically says that, you've disrespected the pride, and for that you will pay. You'll rue the day. You know the kid from iCarly? You will rue the day. That's what this kid's doing in the hallway. So, a teacher walks up and is like, is there a problem here? And the kid starts telling the teacher about how the Wolfpack is a sanctity that you're supposed to be in for life, yada yada yada, just some weird stuff. And the teacher's kind of like, all right, we'll leave this girl alone because she clearly doesn't seem into this message, and go to class. And the kid's like, you'll never understand the Wolfpack. Yes, that's right, because the math teacher that just yelled at you is definitely sitting there saying, man, you know what I want to do with this college degree and my 10 years of experience teaching children? I really want to yell at kids that think they're werewolves. That is what I want to do with my day. So that's not the last time he tries to threaten this girl in the hallway. And call me crazy here, but you want to know how you don't get your crush back? Like, if your crush doesn't like you and you want her back, you don't threaten her in the hallway. Like, that's a 0 out of 10. I'm sorry. That's a negative win in the point column. No girl's ever been like, man, I thought we were broken up. I really did until, until he threatened me, at which point I was like, yo, it's lit. Oh my God, we're meant to be together. So after this point, at school, he would leave her alone, but that wasn't the last that she ended up seeing of him in life. But that's going to do it for this part of the story. We're already at 13 minutes, so all I'm going to say is if this video gets 40,000 likes, I'll do the next part. It gets pretty crazy. Werewolf guy definitely becomes a little unhinged. There's a couple more parts I could do about this, but if you guys want it, let me know. If you don't, that's fine too. Like, I get it. No stress, no pressure. And yeah, on that note, though, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I'd appreciate you pressing the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of the video. And of course, if you're new, press the subscribe button and turn on notifications, because I upload videos like this every day and you just don't want to miss it. You know, missing it is very not good. Today's notification shout out goes to a very studly muffin. The muffin that is a stud, which is, I'm looking for a name, scrolling through my DM, NPAEWMV. Big shout out to you. If you want a notification shout out, all you gotta do is turn on notifications, send me a screenshot of my Instagram at Scrubby, and I shout somebody out every day. But on that note, don't get anyone pregnant. If you, make sure you're hot, and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. I'm out. Peace.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. I understand that I've been gone for a bit. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I've been addicted to League of Legends for like the past 5 days, and honestly just wasn't feeling very good and didn't really want to make a video, so I didn't. I know, Mr. Consistent low-key let you guys down, but if you guys are having a good day like I know I am today, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. Your dad will leave to get milk and never come back. Yeah, that's right, guys. You're pressing the like button for a father figure. Anyways, guys, real talk. I did take last week off, zip on down to California, spent a night on a haunted ghost ship, which sadly didn't see any ghosts. You know, I I was low-key, like, on my Instagram taunting these ghosts to come haunt me, and they just didn't. But regardless, after spending a night on the Queen Mary, which is supposedly a haunted ship, me and the fam bam decided to go to Disneyland, you know, and I'm a big fan of Disneyland, alright, I'm not gonna lie. If that makes me a cornball, then so be it. I guess I'm a ball of maize, because I do indeed love me some Disney. And for the most part, I've been at Disney long enough where, like, most of the basic stuff doesn't really impress me anymore, you know? I've talked to people that are like, wow, I love waiting in line at Disneyland because each line is so unique. Yeah, that's not me. I'm not a big fan of waiting in line, as neither is anybody else in my family, you know? Like, I'm sorry, but standing